here, so hopefully that is, we've missed a little bit of the call with our mic being unplugged and then replugged in and then plugged in. So it is 1-2 strikes here to Haruka as they are batting here in the first inning. Haruka, Nishikawa, Kobayashi to bat here against the lefty Hisano. As the lefty leans in, he gets his sign, the 1-2 pitch ready to come here to Haruka. As the kicks and he delivers, and that is a fastball swung on. It is a lifted foul over on the first base side of home plate. The count is 1-2 to Haruka. As we mentioned, batting .333, 3 homers and 7 runs batted in. The former Yomiuri Giant getting his opportunity to play regularly here, or at least regular playing time under this new regime for the Buffaloes. As the lefty kicks and delivers, the 1-2 pitch taken for a called third strike. As a breaking ball that Haruka stood there and watched that one go by for out number 1, and that's one of the books here. And that is going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, he's in his second season with the Buffaloes. He's hitting .313. He's got himself a homer and 10 runs batted in. As he strides to the plate here to face the lefty for the first time today. So .313 on the season. He had a absolutely abysmal spring, but boy, you see, picked it up once the regular season and the lights go on. The first pitch breaking ball misses down and away. The count is 1-0. Nishikawa to be followed by Kotaro Kobayashi here in the first inning. Left-hander against the left-hander. Hisano kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count's even at 1-1. Defensively tonight for the Fighters from left to right field, Yoshida is in left. The center fielder tonight is Asama with the right fielder of Manami. Around the horn from first to third, Gunji's at first. The second baseman is Ishii with the shortstop Mizuno on the third base, Kiyomiya. As there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. That pitch was at 95 miles an hour from the lefty. 1-2 strikes to Nishikawa. And the battery is Hisano and Shinto. So a little bit different looking lineup here for the Fighters this afternoon in Hokkaido. So 1-2 strikes. As he catches the sign from his catcher Shinto, he comes into the delivery as he kicks and he fires. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. So back-to-back strikeouts looking to begin the ballgame for the Buffaloes. So for the rookie left-hander, it's a battle of 2 rookies today. As the lefty Hisano is making his third NPB appearance. It'll be a debut for Teranashi. Will take to the hill for the Buffaloes today. So 2 first-year players going toe-to-toe here today in this one. Well, that brings Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate. And the first pitch to Kobayashi is a fastball that misses upstairs for ball 1. So 1-0 strikes. The shortstop of the Buffaloes has 3 homers and 13 RBIs on the season. He's hitting .276. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count runs even at 1-1. So 1-1 strike to Kobayashi. Rare early starting game or midweek game for the NPB. As the lefty kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. Yataro Sugimoto will wait his turn on deck. Jimmy is in the house today. We welcome everybody who has popped in. Whether you listen live or on delay, it's great to have you with us. Here comes the 1-2 pitch as Hisano delivers. Fastball swung on, lifted foul down the first base side, and that is going to keep the count at 1-2. So interested to see the rookie right-hander of the Buffaloes as Teranashi is throwing in front of the dugout for the Buffaloes. He was the top pick in the 2024 draft for Orix. So here comes the 1-2 again to Kobayashi. Pitch on the way. It is a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. It's going to get down for a base hit as Asama charges in and picks it up. And that's going to be a single here for Kobayashi as he is aboard. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter in Yataro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, He enters the fray tonight. Off to a fairly decent start this year. His power numbers seem to be coming back. He has 4 home runs to this point, batting .270 with 10 RBIs and a stolen base. The fastball swung on line past the glove of the shortstop into left field. And Sugimoto's got himself a base hit. So after the first 2 hitters went down looking on strikes, back-to-back singles off the bat of Kobayashi and Sugimoto have got something brewing. And that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. To be honest, where Sugimoto really thrived was when, a couple of years ago, when Masataka Yoshida was in the lineup. They were a pretty good tandem, or a spot in the order where they could really feed off one another back-to-back. Sugimoto really, since the 2022 season, has kind of struggled a little bit last couple of years. Certainly, his power numbers have sort of declined since that 32 home run season back in 2021. Fastball swung on and fouled away. It counted as 0-1 to Oda. Ryo Oda, however, has really enjoyed a breakout season to this point, as he is hitting .342 with 4 homers and 19 runs batted in. He was getting a lot of second base duty last year, and then he would bounce over late in the game and play some first base for the Buffaloes. So he may be solving that issue at the second base position for Orix. Fastball down, and the count now goes even at 1-1 to Oda. And the reason why I said it was a bit of a revolving door, but they had Marwin Gonzalez, they had Ryo Adachi, they had others that were kind of auditioning in that place, and nobody was really taking the bull by the horns. And certainly with the offensive production that Oda has provided to this point this year, and certainly toward the end of last season as well, it may be an issue that's been solved. Fastball swung on, grounded over to second, fielded neatly by the second baseman Ishii. He flips it to the shortstop covering at second base. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Sugimoto is going to be retired 4-6 for the third out of the inning, and that is going to do it here for the Buffaloes. Well, everything all came with 2 outs, but they weren't able to cash a run in. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left the board. We are through a half inning. It is the Buffaloes. No score, and the Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. We appreciate you guys for jumping in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few, right after these. It is the Fighters coming to bat at the bottom of the first inning. It is 0-0. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We didn't give you the starting lineup for the Fighters. We'll run down that through quickly here as they will come to bat in inning number 1. It'll be Asama, the right fielder, leading off. Gunji, the first baseman, bats second. At third, it'll be Kiyomiya. He's hitting third. Cleanup spot is Reyes. Batting fifth is Yoshida. He's in left field. Batting sixth is the right fielder, Manami. Hitting seventh, the second baseman, Ishii. Batting eighth, the catcher, Shinto. And batting ninth is Mizuno. He is at short. The right-hander, it is going to be Teranashi, who is making his NPB debut. And the first pitch of his career on the way is a fastball that misses down and away to Asama, and the count is quickly 1-0. For Asama, he's hitting .194 on the season. He's got a homer and a couple RBIs. The right-hander facing the left-hander here as he kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side. And the count goes even at 1-1. As we mentioned, Teranashi, he was drafted first overall by the Buffaloes in the 2024 draft. That is after the season, typically in November is when the picks are generally made. As the right-hander delivers, there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So this is his first start of his NPB career. And we'll have to see if this is going to be a good one here for the Buffaloes. I don't know much about him other than the brief reports as he double clutches, and there is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-1 on Osama. And one would have to think that once he gets through the first inning, he should be able to settle down. But the key for a lot of starters is being able to get through that first inning, to get the jitters out of the way. I'm sure his heart is racing a mile a minute as the right-hander kicks and he delivers. There is a breaking ball swung on it as lifted foul well down the right field line into the seats, and that's going to run the count full to Osama. Battle of the top two teams in the Pacific League, both the Buffaloes and the Fighters, are right atop perched the standings. So the right-hander working his way here again. Here comes the pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses down and in. It's going to be ball 4, so a leadoff walk here for Osama. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Yuya Gunji. We're talking a little bit about the records. The Fighters, 21-15 wins and losses, 19-15 for the Buffaloes, as they are one game behind the Fighters. Neither of these teams are particularly very good at home. Actually, both of the teams are below 500. The Fighters are at 8-12 at home. Buffaloes are 8-10. Much better on the road for both of these teams. Fighters are 13-3 away from home, and the Buffaloes 11-5. If they can start enjoying some of their home cooking, they can really start to put some distance on their rivals in the division, as that fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats down the right field line. Count is 0-1 to Gunji. Gunji batting 197 on the season, a couple of homers and 5 runs batted in. As the right-handed hitting first baseman of the Fighters digs himself in, waiting on the offering from the rookie. As Teranashi delivers, it is a fastball that misses outside, and the count runs even at 1-1. One of the things I will say that Osama and Gunji, both players, when they have swung, they have had good wood on the ball. So be curious to see how they're timing them up. And as we mentioned, certainly the starting pitcher, I'd also be curious to see how far they would take him here tonight into this one. Again, Teranashi kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that's taken at the knees for a called strike. Now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And as I look at some of the players in the lineup for both of these teams today, I have to look to see where the firepower is going to come from. I would say probably the Fighters have a little bit more sock in their lineup today. And speaking of sock, there hasn't been a lot. The home runs are definitely down in the NPB yet again this year. There's a fastball that misses down. Now goes to 2-2 on Gunji. It's been a slide for the last few years in the NPB with the lack of home run production. And that is what we definitely have noticed. There hasn't been the sock and the pop in the bat. There was a scandal a few years ago with the baseballs, that they felt the baseballs were juiced. As the 2-2 pitch is on the way, fastball misses outside. It's now 3-2 to Gunji. So back-to-back hitters here to begin the ball game. The right-hander Teranashi has gone to a full count. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the first baseman of the Fighters. And the right-hander gets himself into the set position. Establishing his lead at first is Osama. And now he steps off the rubber and looks the base runner back to the bag. Sama's only got a couple of stolen bases this year. Not quite the threat to run, or at least not in our eyes the threat to run. Once upon a time, he did still steal 12 bases a few years ago, and there's a fastball swung on and it's lifted down the right field line foul, and the count remains at 3-2 to Gunji. And Samba was on the move on that pitch. Not sure if it was a hit and run or as much as a run and hit. Sometimes the players will get the green light. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is, as the right-hander ready to go again, getting his sign from his catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. And here comes the 3-2 offering. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on and another one lifted foul down the right field line, and the count remains at 3-2. Defensively tonight for the Buffaloes, from left to right field, Nishikawa is in left. Mugia is in center, and the right fielder is Nakagawa. Around the horn from first to third, it is Tongu at first, Oda at second, Kirbayashi at short, and the third baseman Haruka, with the battery of Teranashi and Wakatsuki. Young Buffalo right-hander getting his sign, and he works himself to the set, but now he fires to first, and diving back in time is Asama. I still am a little bit, well, I mean, you have to give your hats off to the manager, Shinjo, but I'm still a little bit surprised. To me, it's still a little early on the curve for the Fighters to be where they're at. As there's a split finger pitch that misses down, it's going to be ball 4. So back-to-back walks to start the ball game here for the Fighters. That's going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound, as they're going to have a word or two here with their young right-hander. So 14 pitches so far in this one, and 8 of them have been for balls. It's going to bring Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate, and Kiyomiya, well, he's had a flair for the dramatics when we've called games. He's only got 3 home runs on the year, but all 3 of those home runs have come when I think we've called a game. He's batting .258 on the season with 3 homers and 13 RBIs. So the fighter is looking to do some damage here immediately. So Kiyomiya batting from the left side, gets himself settled in, ready to face the first offering from the right-hander. As he works himself to the set, he checks the runner Asama at second base. Now he kicks and delivers. Slow breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Again, Kiyomiya digging himself in, ready to get the offering here from the right-hander. NPB baseball, early action on a Thursday afternoon in Japan. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's even at 1-1. So Teranishi able to get some of the off-speed stuff over, but he's having difficulty locating his fastball at this point. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kiyomiya. As the right-hander again checks the runner Asama at second. Kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field, but not deep enough. Coming in now on it and making the catch is the right fielder Nakagawa. And the runners are not going to be able to advance, as that is going to retire Kiyomiya for the first out of the inning. That is going to bring up the right fielder in Franmil Reyes. Well, for Reyes, he's hitting .268 on the season. He's got 8 homers and 24 runs driven in. The big fella, in a lot of ways, has picked up where he left off last season. He has been a fan favorite in Hokkaido. And he is certainly a very big man. He stacks up against some of the Japanese players. He is a mountain among men. So here comes the first offering to the right-handed hitting Reyes, as Teranishi delivers a fastball that misses way up and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We're going to try to squeeze some more games in on the weekend. So if you are around, be sure to check it out. We were hoping to try to get Trevor Bauer, one of his games, in with the Bay Stars, but the weather is supposed to be dicey this weekend. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into shallow right field. Racing back on it is the second baseman, Oda, and coming in is Nakagawa. He's going to call him off. He's going to make the catch as Reyes is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. So after back-to-back walks, the right-hander Teranishi has now retired both the next two batters he's faced on fly balls to right. He's going to leave it all up to the left fielder in Kengo Yoshida. Well, for Yoshida, he's hitting .246 on the season. He's got 4 homers and 9 runs driven in. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Teranishi. As he holds to the set, he checks the runner at second, checks him again, and now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Big crowd here today in Hokkaido for this one, as they have had some pretty good crowds. We got a chance to watch some of the game last night. Didn't have the opportunity to call it, as there's a breaking ball that misses inside. Count goes to 1-1. But they did have a very healthy crowd on hand for the second game of the series. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Yoshida. As the right-hander ready to go again as he gets the sign. Checks the runner Asama at second, now delivers. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third. Haruka fields it on the short hop, fires across the diamond, and he is going to retire Yoshida. It's a ground out 5-3, and that is going to do it. Well, it started rocky, but it ended pretty good here for Teranishi. There was no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There was no errors, but there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score, as we are now 1 complete inning through this one, it is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action right after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Yuma Tongu, Kai Nakagawa, and Kenya Wakatsuki to come to bat here for the Buffaloes to start inning number 2. Both of these ball clubs here had some runners aboard and were not able to cash in either scenario. Buffaloes had their first 2 batters strike out looking to begin the game, and then back-to-back singles off the bat of Kobayashi and Sugimoto were left stranded when Oda bounced into a fielder's choice. The first pitch to Tongu was taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Tongu hitting .276 on the season with 6 homers and 15 runs batted in. Takes a breaking ball outside. The count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Left-hander ready to go again. He kicks. He delivers. There's a breaking ball swung through and missed. The count now goes to 1-2 on Tongu. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, the left-hander looking in, getting his sign, and he's getting himself into the set position. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. So there's a fastball swung on, and that one is lifted foul, and the count is 1-2 to Tagu. Tagu looks like he may have got his stroke back. As we said, he's got 6 homers already this year. He was a godsend when they lost Masataka Yoshida a couple of years ago, as he was giving the Buffaloes all kinds of power numbers. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to short. Fielded neatly by Mizuno. He throws to first, and Tagu is in the books on a ground out, 6-3. He's gone for out number 1, and that is going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. Well, for Nakagawa, he's getting the start in right field tonight. We've seen that he has had plenty of duty in years past in center field and at first base. And so they may be settling on him as the everyday right fielder if Mejia can hold down that position in center field. The first pitch from the lefty, Sano on the way as a breaking ball misses up and away for ball 1. Batting .263 on the season with those 3 homers and 23 RBIs. Nakagawa getting the start here tonight as the kicks and delivers. There is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count's even now at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the one thing that you see in the Japanese league. They definitely use their bench. They're not afraid to use the depth of their team. As there's a breaking ball down, the appeal over to the first base umpire, but they said Nakagawa didn't go. It's now 2 balls and a strike. Nakagawa, the right-handed hitting right fielder, waits, and here's the offering. It's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side, giving chase, and with room. And does he make the catch by the dugout? Yes, he does. Yuya Gunji leans in and hauls that one in, and Nakagawa is going to be gone for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone. It's going to leave it all up to the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he's hitting .267 on the season. He's got a couple homers and 7 RBIs. One of the things that he excels at, Wakatsuki, over the years is his ability to drop the sacrifice bunt. As he bats here on the right side against the left-handed throwing Hisano. And there's a breaking ball that drops just a bit off the inside corner, inside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Pitch looked pretty good to me, but maybe not as good to the home plate umpire. Hisano delivers again. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the third base side. As Shinto's underneath it with room, he's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it. Wakatsuki's going to be gone for the third out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the Buffaloes as they go quietly in their half of the second. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of inning number 2, it is the Fighters nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you for being with us. And our friend from the Philippines is in, and we appreciate you for poking your head in here. We'll be back in just a few.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
We got a score line of 0-0 as we are heading to the bottom of inning number 2. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the second inning in the bottom half. It'll be Manami, Ishii, and Shinto to come to bat, as they will be facing the right-hander here for his second inning work in Teranashi. The Arki right-hander making his NPB debut tonight against the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. And the right-hander ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. It is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. The count is 1-0. This is going to be a challenge here for the right-hander, Teranishi, as he has fallen behind in the count of a number of hitters here so far tonight. As the right-hander again double clutches and delivers, there's a breaking ball that is swung through and missed. The count is 1-1 to Manami. He definitely swung at ball 2 there. So 2 balls and no strikes. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here. Sorry to Manami. As the right-hander ready to go again. Teranashi gets his side from his catcher, and now he kicks, double clutches, and delivers. There is a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Manami hitting .234 on the year, 9 homers and 22 runs batted in. He's really enjoyed himself a pretty good campaign so far this year. Talking a little earlier about the standings, the Fighters in the top spot, the Buffaloes in the second spot. As they've fallen out, there's a fastball swung on. This ball is going to get lined in left field. It's going to get down for a base hit. So Manami's got himself a leadoff single here, and that's going to bring up the second baseman in Kazunori Ishii. We're looking at the standings in general. And certainly one of the hotter teams in the Pacific League has been the Hawks. They are 7-3 in their last 10. They are starting to flap their wings a bit. The Fighters in the top spot. Buffaloes are second. The surprising play of the Saitama Cebu Lions is they are in third spot, followed by the Eagles, the Hawks, and then in last place is the Chiba Lotte Marines. I didn't think Chiba was going to make the playoffs, but I didn't think they would be anchored in the bottom of the Pacific at this point. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to Ishii, and the count's 1-0. Ishii hitting .386 on the season with a homer and 7 RBIs. He has been very, very good this year. He is 12 for 17 in his last 5 games played. So if there's not any batter that is swinging a hotter stick than Ishii in the Fighter lineup, there's a fastball that misses down. It's now 2-0. It's certainly falling behind in the count like this. A very, very difficult situation here for the right-hander. Well, you're going to have to come with the fastballs. The hitters know it's coming. It makes it a real easy situation to be able to hit. So 2 balls and no strikes as the right-hander agrees with the sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki. He holds set to the belt. And the 2-0 on the way. It's a breaking ball that misses up and in, and the count goes to 3-0. So 3 balls and no strikes. Buffaloes and Fighters, the third of a 3-game set between these clubs. As the right-hander again holds to the set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count goes to 3-1 on Ishii. We're talking a little bit about the standings and certainly, the games played over the last couple of days. As we look back at the games that have been played, as the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on it, it's belted foul down the right field line. We're looking at some of the games from yesterday. The Buffaloes beat the Fighters 9-5 yesterday. It was a bit of a slugfest. And in the Tuesday game, it was 7-0 for the Fighters over the Buffaloes. So each teams have traded blows here. 3 balls and 2 strikes it is, as the right-hander ready to go again as he works himself set. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on. This ball is lined right to the glove of the first baseman, Tongu. The runner was on the move, and he's going to step on the base to retire Manami. It's going to be a double play. And that is going to retire both Ishii and Minami for 2 outs here. He couldn't hit the ball any harder. The ball right on the screws, right to the glove of Tongu. There's now 2 outs here in the inning. That's going to leave it up to the catcher in Yuya Shinto. As we're looking back at yesterday's ball game, the 9-5 affair, the Buffaloes with the victory in that one last night. 6 of their runs came late, 5 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th inning to propel them over the top. As the first pitch on the way, it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Shinto. Shinto 0 for 3 on the season and pretty much on his career, as he is a young catcher here for the Fighters. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count goes to 0-2. Last night's ball game, both Tongu and Haruka had homered for the Buffaloes. The big blow was a Haruka that last night had driven in 4 runs. So no balls and 2 strikes as the right-hander works himself to the belt. Now he kicks, double clutches, and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. Shinto's gone on strikes for the 3rd out of the inning, and it's an unconventional 1-2-3, as there was no runs, but there was a hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. Your score, as we are now through 2 complete, it is the Buffaloes no score and the Fighters no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for poking your heads in here tonight, listening on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back in just a few. We got ourselves a 0-0 game as we're moving to the top of the 3rd inning. We'll be right back in just a couple moments with all the action. It is Fighters and Buffaloes back when we return after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 3rd inning and coming to bat here for the Buffaloes will be their center fielder. And that is going to be Yusuke Mugatani, as he will lead it off here. And the first pitch on the way is a breaking ball swung on, and this is lifted into left field. Shallow left field. Moving back on it is the shortstop Mizuno, and he's going to be there to make the catch. And with 1 pitch, we've got 1 away here in inning number 3. I'll bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Just making a couple of little notes here on the outfielder Mugatani, as he is enjoying himself a decent rookie campaign. Well, coming to bat now is the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Haruka struck out looking to begin the ball game. His average has slipped to 329. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Haruka 0 for 1 tonight. As we said, he struck out looking to begin the game. His average has slipped to 329 with 3 homers and 7 runs batted in. As the lefty Hasano ready to deliver again as he works himself to the set. Here's the pitch. It is a breaking ball missing down and in, and the count goes to 2-0 on Haruka. Fighters and Buffaloes from Escon Field in Hokkaido. Final game of the 3-game set. Here comes the offering from the lefty as he kicks and delivers. Breaking ball that just misses. Count now goes to 3-0 on Haruka. And the lefty Hasano ready to go again. He kind of works from the stretch all the time. Not much movement. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 3-1. Kind of liked it, just the way that he was offering at this point. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Again, the lefty kicks and he delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Moving over is the center fielder, and it's going to be Asama who hauls it in, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. So 2 gone here, and that's going to leave it up to the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa, he was also a strikeout victim in inning number 1 as he went down looking as well. 0 for 1 tonight. As the lefty has exchanged baseballs, he didn't like the one that he had, so he's going to get another opportunity here as Hasano. Nishikawa with the 0 for 1 earlier this evening sees his average drip to 310 as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that just misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. I'm not so sure I'm really enjoying the home plate umpire's balls and strikes tonight. He certainly has got me guessing as much as maybe he has the hitters, both of the clubs guessing too. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I think there's a lot to like about Hasano as well. We saw earlier in the ballgame he could dial it up to 95. You throw 95 from the left side, you're going to get a lot of attention from a lot of people. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. That was at 94 miles an hour on our gun, and the count now goes to 2-1. I think of a few years ago when James Paxton was at the top of his game in Major League Baseball. His average fastball was up around 97 miles an hour. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball swung on it is lifted into left field. Moving in on it is Yoshida, and he's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. That is going to retire the Buffaloes here for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. We are now going to the bottom half of inning number 3. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. This one's skipping along a little bit. We'll be back in just a bit. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and it is going to be Mizuno, Asama, and Gunji to come to bat here for the Fighters in their half of inning number 3. As it is a nothing ball game here. The way it started off, it looked like it could have been a run affair here, but both of the starting pitchers have settled down and got themselves into a bit of a groove. As both had themselves some shaky starts to the ball game. For the Fighters, They had that one conventional 1-2-3 inning in the last half inning. The first pitch delivered to Mizuno was taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. They do have one hit in the ballgame to the Fighters. The Buffaloes, on the flip side, have 2 hits, as there's a breaking ball that just misses, and the count is 1-1 to Mizuno. Welcome everybody into the stream, and especially our friend Gracie Lynn. She says, how's it going? It's going pretty good. It's actually pretty busy, Gracie Lynn. We got an early midweek game here, as that breaking ball misses outside. I couldn't do the last couple of nights. There were some early games. These two teams played all this week early. It's been pretty busy at my end here. We haven't been able to do it. I've got to get some stuff done for tomorrow as well. There's a fastball lifted into deep left field. Moving back, the edge of the warning track is Nishikawa. He's going to retire Mizuno. He's going to be gone for the first out of the inning, and they'll bring up the top of the order in Asama. So unfortunately, I just haven't had the opportunity to get in front of the microphone and make the calls. That is for sure. But we are here for now, and that'll be us calling the games here tonight, and we're glad you can make it in. So it brings Asama to the plate. He led off the ball game with a walk his first time up. He's still hitting $194 with a homer and a couple RBIs. There's a breaking ball ticket for a called strike. Count is 0-1. And our friend Gracie Lynn hitting us with a super chat. Appreciate you there, Gracie Lynn. We're going to have to, when we get down to Costa Rica next time, we'll have to go to a soda and have something good to eat and can have a good chat. There's a fastball that is swung on and is hit past the glove of the shortstop Kirbiashi into left field. And Asama is going to be aboard with a single. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Yuya Gunji. Although I have to say, as much as I really enjoy Costa Rica, I don't know if it's going to be on my hit list over the next little bit, as I've already been there and done that, as we have Taiwan on the docket here for August. So that brings Gunji to the plate, as Gunji had walked his first time up. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner. So Yuya Gunji here. Another hitter at the top of the order, hitting below the Mendoza line. Pitch is on the way. It's a breaking ball. I'll take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Gracie Lynn says she goes back in November, but might go back for a couple of weeks midsummer. Not sure yet. Well, it's a great place. I really enjoyed it. It was 22 years ago in December. I remember I was in Heredia when, you remember certain times in your life where you remember where certain people were or where things were. And it was the leader of Iraq was captured at that time. I remember I was in Heredia. That was the first time we heard the news. There's a fastball swung on, is chopped over the head of the pitcher, fielded on the run by Kirbiashi. He's got to have to hurry. He throws to first, and Gunji's going to be retired on a ground out, 6-3. That's 2 in the books, and that is going to bring up the shortstop, or it's going to bring up the third baseman in Kentaro Kiyomiya. Gracie Lynn said she'd rather avoid the rainy season. That's where her house is. Rainy season, it's wet everywhere, but especially rainy in the higher areas. Yeah, we had some rain when we were there. Never actually got a chance to see a volcano. Went up to a volcano, but it was all sucked in. That's the way it goes sometimes. So this brings Kiyomiya to the plate. 0-for-1 tonight. He has flown to right field, his only trip up. Batting from the left side here against the right-handed throwing rookie of the Buffaloes, who delivers a breaking ball that's taken for a called strike. And we got Alex Hicks in the house here. He says, how we doing? We're doing pretty good. And Harrison's back in. His finals are done. Welcome back in. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. So no balls and 1 strike as the right-hander ready to go again. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1. I was looking at calling a game possibly tomorrow, but I had that with just things that kind of gotten a little bit busy. We're going to try to do 2 of the Japanese games on Saturday, Sunday, which would be North American time, Friday and Saturday. So hopefully you guys can make it in. As the pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, it is grounded on one hop over to Oda. He throws to first, and that is going to do it here for the Fighters on a ground out 4-3, as Kiyomiya is in the books for out number 3. Well, we are now through 3 complete. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. There was 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the top of the 4th, it is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments right after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after this.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Kobayashi, Sugimoto, and Oda to come to bat here for the Buffaloes in inning number 4. As both of the starting pitchers, 2 rookies going at it head-to-head tonight here. As Hisano, who will be starting his 4th inning here for the Fighters, against Teranishi, who is making his NPB debut tonight. Hisano only making his 3rd appearance in a Fighters uniform as the lefty ready to go. Kicks and delivers, breaking ball, missing inside for ball 1. The count is 1-0. Only 39 pitches through the first 3 innings for the Fighters left-hander. As he gets his sign from his catcher, Shinto, and he kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball that misses down. Counts 2-0. Friend Gracie Lynn says from mid-May till the beginning of November, it's the rainy season, whereas up here it's a little bit opposite, where it gets into September usually until about early January. We get a lot of precipitation here. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 2-1. It's like a rainforest that we live in up here. And that is unfortunately the way it goes. So 2 balls and 1 strike as the lefty ready to go again. As the pitch is on the way, there's a fastball swung on, is hammered down the left field line, and it just hooks foul. And that is going to run the count to 2-2. Harrison says, how come this game is early? That's a great question. The whole series has been early. I just couldn't get on the call last couple of nights. I got home and I picked up the game in about the 3rd inning and probably watched about 4 innings last night. Got all the way, and then that's when the fireworks happened. The Buffaloes scored 5 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. They ended up winning that ball game last night 9-5. So they were trailing going into the 8th inning, and then all heck broke loose as the lefty works himself into the set position. And here comes the pitch. Kicks and fires. There's a breaking ball swung on. This is lined over the head of the first baseman into the right field corner. Rounding first and then slowing down and stopping right there is going to be Kobayashi. So he's got himself a leadoff single. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Yatara Sugimoto. Friend Gracie Lynn says that the radar shows that there's been 11.7 inches of rain in the last 30 days. I know that feeling. I think it was 2 Octobers ago here. We had something like 30 inches of rain. It was an all-time record. Unbelievable. Just wouldn't go away. But some people really don't like rain. It doesn't bother me. There's a fastball that misses down and in. They say that the rain can really affect people in certain areas, certainly the suicide rates. You talk about that a lot often, that in certainly rainy areas where it depresses them. I actually would prefer the warm rain. I like nothing more than a mid-afternoon shower where it's 80 to 90 degree temperatures. Love it. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-1 on Sugimoto. Sugimoto 1 for 1 tonight. He got that single in the first inning, but he was retired on a fielder's choice. Green beans in the house tonight. Love that, green beans. For those of you who might have a stuttering problem, I say that a little bit quick. Said it was raining like crazy. Drenched walking 10 feet to her car. Fastball swung on, grounded to short. Mizuno throws to second for 1, back to first. That's going to be a double play. That is the 6-4-3 variety. As Kirbyashi's retired at second for the first out, and at the back end, Sugimoto is gone. That's going to leave it all up to the second baseman and Ryo Oda. Well, for Oda, he's officially 0 for 1 tonight. He bounced into a fielder's choice to end the first inning. So both of these rookie pitchers have settled in, and it has been now turning into a pitching performance. Sano here, keeping the Buffalo hitters off balance as the first pitch is on its way to Oda. Fastball misses outside, and the count is 1-0. I'd be interested to see exactly what kind of leash that they are going to have here on both of them. Green Bean says, let's go Japanese ham. As the 1-0 pitch is on the way, there's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. We've been very fortunate here in the spring this year. Normally we get a very wet spring as well. And we've had hardly any type of weather to speak of. We are supposed to get a couple of weeks of precipitation, but if today is any indication, it may not be much at all. There's a breaking ball that misses, and the count's now 3-0. Jimmy Feltner in the house here. We're keeping Jimmy awake. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into left field. It's going to get down for a base hit, as it is fielded by the left fielder Yoshida as he drops to a knee and he chests it down. And Oda's got himself a base hit single here with 2 gone, and that is going to leave it up or bring up the first baseman Yuma Tongu. And for Tongu tonight, well, he's 0 for 1. He grounded to short his first time up. As Tongu gets himself settled in. One thing I do check on is the minor league scoreboard. There is a young player who used to be involved or had a chance to play with us as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner Oda. Always checking in on the Dunedin Blue Jays, and they lost tonight to, I think it was Bradenton, which I believe was the Pirates farm team. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on, grounded over to third, fielded by Kiyomiya. Throws across the diamond, and that is going to retire Tongu on a ground out, 5-3 for the final out of the inning. And that is going to do it for the Buffaloes here in the fourth. They go quietly. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the fourth inning. Your score is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a little bit. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Our friend Dill says, is that the Masataka Yoshida that played in the MLB? Nope, different Yoshida. Playing in left field here tonight. We'll be back in just a few. That Yoshida is currently injured at the moment. We'll be back in just a few.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play. But you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, the debut of the right-hander Naruki Teranashi is over as the Buffaloes are now going to their bullpen. It's going to be Kento Kawase who is coming on in relief as he will take over here to face the Fighters in inning number 4. We were saying about how Yoshida is a common name. Yeah, each of these two teams has a Yoshida. One of the Yoshidas who is pitching for the Buffaloes is actually out for the entire year, as he has had to have surgery. That would be Kosei Yoshida, the one-time star of the Koshin tournament. And then, of course, the Yoshida that is playing in the ballgame tonight for the Fighters. That'd be the left fielder Kengo Yoshida, who will be up second in the inning. No, I don't know if there's any relation, but it's kind of like the word Smith or Jones or Schmidt, depending on the country that you're in, as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. So Franmil Reyes at the plate here, hitting .266. He's 0 for 1 tonight with 8 homers and 24 RBIs. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on and it's grounded foul past the third base coach's box. The count is now 0-2 to Reyes. So there are a lot of common surnames in Japan. When you think of different ones, there's the fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit. As moving over to his left is Mikitani, the center fielder. And Franmil Reyes is aboard. That is the third hit of the game here for the Fighters. That's going to bring up the left fielder, as we were talking about, in Kengo Yoshida. And for Kengo Yoshida, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to third his first time up. Batting here against the reliever Kawase. We were talking about it earlier. Yuma Tongu is a pretty solidly built player at first base, but when you have Franmil Reyes standing next to him, he looks like he's a dwarf in a lot of ways. Reyes is a huge man. As the first pitch coming from Kawase is a breaking ball that misses way upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So not a bad way for the young right-hander to get his debut. They took him out after 3 innings, allowing only a couple of hits. Walked the first 2 batters he faced in his career. Did Teranishi. As the right-hander again works to the set position. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count now goes even to 1-1. We're talking a little bit about the other games in this series earlier on. We were saying last night it ended up as a 9-5 affair. There were a couple of home runs hit in the ball game for the Buffaloes. And Reyes had hit one last night as well for the Fighters. There's a fastball that misses inside. And the count now is 2-1 to Yoshida. The opening game of the series, the needle pointed to the Fighters. They won 7-0. That was in the Tuesday ball game. And pretty much all the runs came late. 5 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. Stretched it out for the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats over on the first base side. And the count now goes to 2-2. In the game on Tuesday, it was Yuki Nomura hitting a home run in that one. That was the only one there. And it was Hiromi Ito putting on a show. He'd worked 8 innings, allowed 4 hits, and struck out 10. Arguably the ace of the Fighters staff. As the 2-2 pitch is on the way. Breaking ball swung on, grounded over on the third base side, fielded by Haruka. Oh, what a play by the second baseman. Haruka fielded it on the run. I thought his only play might be to first base. It looked like he was like throwing behind him off balance. He threw to second, and the second baseman, Oda, with a great pick. That's going to retire Reyes on a fielder's choice, 5-4. Reyes has gone for the first out of the inning. Yoshida safe on the backside. That'll bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. I'm not so sure that would have been the proper decision per se, but you got to tip your hat to the third baseman Haruka, who ended up getting the out. Not an easy play. Well, that is going to bring up Manami to the plate. He's 1 for 1 tonight. He's got a single in his only trip. As the right-hander Kawase ready to deliver. And there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count goes to 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. We'll take a look at the schedule here in the next couple of days. There is rain in Japan this weekend, so we'll have to take a look and see what games that we're going to cover on Friday and Saturday night North American time. As the pitch is on the way, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-1. AOK Barbell says, where are you watching the game? Well, we're picking it up, throwing it down to you from Japan. You can pick it up on J-Sport if you want. As the 1-1 pitch is on the way, as the right-hander holds set. Now delivers. There's a fastball that misses inside, and it backs Manami off the plate. As J-Sport carries the Buffalo games, it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Got to make sure, though, that if you're not around, you got to have a VPN and you got to have a good credit card. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Manami as he dusts himself off and walks around the home plate area. Runner at first is Yoshida. 1 gone here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 0-0 here between the Fighters and the Buffaloes. Harrison says he's going to be tapping out here soon. His birthday's in a couple of days. You might as well start early, Harrison. As the 2-1 pitch coming here to Manami. Pitch on the way. It is a breaking ball, swung on and missed, and Manami is got the count run even to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Old Harrison looking for his shoutouts. I think we already gave you one there, Harrison. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm going to be adding another trip around the sun to his candles on the cake. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Pitch on the way. It is a split finger pitch, misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. As we said, we will pop up our schedule here in the next little bit, but as we said, we're going to probably stay away from some of the stuff. We'll probably look to do some of the dome games on the weekend. A little bit undecided on what that will entail. As we mentioned, we kind of were looking at maybe the Bay Stars or possibly the Carp, but I don't know if we're going to be able to see either one of those, as the rain could preempt things. Breaking ball that misses inside, and that is going to be ball 4. Manami's going to get himself a walk. That's going to advance Yoshida over to second. They've got runners at first and second with 1 gone, and it's going to bring Kazunori Ishii to the plate. And for Ishii, well, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He hit a line drive right to the first baseman Tagu that resulted in a double play his first time up. As the pitching coach from the Buffaloes has made his way to the mound here to talk to the defense. As Kawase has not been sharp since he's entered the fray here. So the Fighters are threatening here. They've got runners at first and second with 1 gone, and Kazunori Ishii coming to the plate. Ishii, the left-handed hitting second baseman, has really swung the bat well. We said he is 12 for 18 in his last 5 games, including tonight. Batting .378 on the season with the homer and 7 RBIs. So he steps in on the left side, ready to get the first offering here from Kawase. As the right-hander holds to the set, he checks Yoshida, the runner, at second. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Friend Harrison says he'll be turning 19 years old. 19 years old, good times. You can drink in Canada at that age, as there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Dylan says 378. Yeah, he's absolutely on fire to start the year. And he had a really good swing his first time up. Now, mind you, with that being said, this is his 50th bat potentially of the season. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball misses down. It's now 3-0 to Ishii. The rookie catcher Yuya Shinto waits his turn on deck. So 3 balls and no strikes to Ishii. Might as well just put that 4th finger up and walk him, as now Ishii has asked for time. As he steps out of the batter's box and he's ready to get back in. Really good crowd again here today in Hokkaido for this one at Escon Field. So got the cut the middle part of the game yesterday. Really healthy crowd. People were asking what's the significance of the midweek game. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 3-1. And I have to be honest, I really don't know on these ones here. Last week, there was the different holidays where they had the children's holiday and the emperor's birthday. And I forget what other one there was, but there were like 3 almost in succession. And here this week here, they've got the midweek games, but the only ones being played are in Hokkaido. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. On its way, fastball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line, and the count is now 3-2. Ain't stopping says, who do you think will win? He's going to put 1,000 on the Buffaloes. I don't know if that's 1,000 pesos or $1,000. Our friend Eric says, how many outs and how many runs on? Just sit back and relax and listen, and we'll give you all the updates as we move along. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Ishii. Runner at second, Yoshida. Runner at first, Manami. 1 gone here in the bottom of inning number 4. And the pitch is on the way. There's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back underneath it and over to make the catch is the center fielder, Mugatani. Tagging at second and heading to third is going to be Yoshida, and he slides in safely. And Ishii is going to be retired for the second out of the inning. That's going to put runners on the corners with 2 gone. And now it's going to bring up the rookie in Yuya Shinto to the plate. Well, for Shinto, he is 0 for 3 to start his career. Actually, 0 for 4 if you include tonight. He does not have a hit in his NPB career. Dill says, is it 9 innings in the Japan League? Yep. But if they do go extra innings, they only play to the 12th. Games can end in ties, which is not necessarily a bad thing. In North America, the games they don't do a ghost runner. I don't know if I'm always in favor of the ghost runner. So runners are at the corners here with 2 gone. Shinto striding in. As we said, he struck out in the second inning to end inning number 2. So Wakatsuki flashing his first and third signs. Have a feeling you got to keep your eyes open here for the fighter shenanigans. Ain't stopping says he lives in Miami. It's been a few years since I've been in Miami. So Shinto digs in. The manager Shinjo right at the top of the dugout. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on, is grounded on 1 hop right to the shortstop Kobayashi. He flips it over to second, and Manami is going to be gone on a fielder's choice. That's going to be 6-4 for the third out of the inning, and that will do it here for the Fighters in their half of the 4th. Well, they threaten, but they don't score. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 runners left. Your score as we move to the top of the 5th inning, it is the Buffaloes nothing and the Fighters nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes in this one. Nakagawa, Wakatsuki, and Mugatani to face the left-handed rookie Hisano of the Fighters, who will come on for his 5th inning of work. He has scattered 4 hits through the first 4 innings. And he has been very effective so far here in this one. He has, by our record, walked none and struck out 2, as he will face the right fielder Kai Nakagawa to begin inning number 5. Our friend AOK says, can Japanese games end in ties? Yes, they can after 12. Fastball misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. Nakagawa had popped his first time up, and he's seen his average slip to 261 on the year. 3 homers and 23 runs driven in, as he takes a breaking ball up and away, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Our friend Eric Reno says, ain't stopping now, so let's do it. Well, depends on what you have for the first 5 innings. There's a fastball ticket for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1 on Nakagawa. Sometimes there is ain't stopping, thinks they're going to score. Well, sometimes here through the first 5, certainly plays a lot different than the back end. Fastball misses upstairs. It's now 3-1. Gracie Lynn likes the summer vibes of those in-between inning commercials. We've got to work on a few more here. I've got to get myself in gear. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 3-2. Unfortunately, just burning the candle at both ends these days. Get this one done and be up on the field at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side. Moving over underneath it is the catcher Shinto, and he's there to make the catch. Nakagawa is going to be retired for the first out of the innings, so 1 gone. That'll bring up the catcher in Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he's 0 for 1 tonight. He has popped to the catcher his first time up. As we said tonight, early baseball, which we don't always get to see very often in the NPB. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, especially midweek games. So 1 ball and no strikes. Wakatsuki popped to the catcher his first time up. He's hitting 264 on the year. Couple of homers, 7 RBIs. It looks like he is really settled in as the everyday catcher. He squares the bunt, takes a fastball inside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Haven't seen a lot of Tomoya Mori. Dylan says, what is the distance to center field? And that I'd have to look it up for you, as it's a good question. The dimensions in center field at Escon Field. Straightaway center is 397 feet. Fastball misses upstairs. It's going to be ball 4. There's going to be a walk there to Wakatsuki. But the interesting part, when the stadium was built, there, by major league standards and by Japanese standards, from the point of home plate, it has to be 60 feet to the backstop. And they had to apply for a special, I don't want to call it special, like a special agreement. And what had happened is the backstop, it's actually about 3 or 4 feet less. It's like 57 or 56 feet. So it's a little shorter from the point of the plate to the backstop. So here comes the center fielder, Mugatani, who is 0 for 1 tonight. He popped to short his only time up. Takes a breaking ball outside. The count is 1-0. No homers and 4 runs batted in on the year. And when you go down the lines, it's 318 down the left field line, 325 down the right field line. Not sure what you're looking at in the power alleys. I'm going to guesstimate and probably say about 370 or 365. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. He stops and says he hears that the Buffaloes are going to win by the casino gods. Our friend Felix Reyes is in the house. He says he's got the over 5.5. Well, not for the first 5 innings, but for the rest of the game, the way these games have played out, all the action seems to start after inning number 7. Fastball swung on and fouled away. The count's 1-2. We were just talking earlier about how last night's ball game, the Buffaloes scored 6 of their 9 runs in the last couple innings. And the Fighters in the first game of the series scored 6 of their 7 runs after the 7th. Dill says pretty deep to center, 397. I think major league standards, you have to have a minimum of 400 feet to straightaway center field. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on his chop softly back to the pitcher, Hasana. He comes off the mound. He fields it. He throws to first, and Mugatani is going to be gone. It's pretty much like a swinging bunt. That goes as a ground out 1-3. It's going to advance Wakatsuki to second. With 2 gone, it's going to bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Well, for Haruka tonight, he is 0 for 2. He has struck out looking and flown to center. He has 2 trips to the plate. Batting from the right side here. Always find it fascinating some nights. Some nights we get the gambling crowd in here, which is good. Some nights we get just the baseball crowd. Some people we get the drinking crowd. But no matter who it is, we're glad you guys can make it in. There's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count goes to 1-0. And if you're drinking, gambling, and just liking baseball, well, that's good to have you here too. Our friend Harrison tapping in again. He says, let's go Orix. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the lefty Hosanna ready to deliver. Kicks and fires. Fastball at the knees, taken for a called strike. The count's even at 1-1 to Haruka. Not sure if Haruka is necessarily picking it up right now. Green Bean says she's got the ham on money line. I didn't do anything on this one here tonight. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we publish what we do, and then there's other times I don't. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul on the third base side. The count goes to 1-2 on Haruka. Dill says that he just likes baseball, rooting for the Buffaloes, so they're 1 game closer to first place. Yeah, the Buffaloes had a pretty good start and had jumped out. The Fighters had caught them. I'd mentioned earlier that I can't believe the Fighters made the playoffs last year. Tip your hat to them. They played really good ball. I thought this year would be their year to make the playoffs, and next year would be the year to challenge for the Pacific League title. But I really think they're about a year ahead of the curve. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the lefty holds to the set. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on it, is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. Rounding third and holding at third is going to be the runner, Wakatsuki. Probably a wise decision. He doesn't particularly run well. The ball was not driven. It was a ball that was hit shallow left field and fielded by the left fielder, Yoshida, who they would have had to test his arm. So that is going to put the runners at the corners here with 2 gone. That's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. Cam Barwell says, which team was Yamamoto on? He was on the Buffaloes. So we've got runners on the corners with 2 gone, and Nishikawa coming to the plate. 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out looking, and he has flown to left in his 2 trips. So Nishikawa ready to go here. The catcher, Shinto, coming out to the front of the plate. So very similar situation to what had happened in the bottom half of the 4th. They have runners at the corners with 2 gone. So got to keep your eyes here on the potential shenanigans the Buffaloes might have up their sleeve. Haruka can run a little bit. He's got a couple of stolen bases this year. He's not known for his speed. As the lefty holds to the set position, here comes the pitch. Fastball misses down and away. The count is 1-0 to Nishikawa. We were saying earlier, Nishikawa was off to such a horrendous start at the beginning of the year, and he has really picked it up. He's hitting north of 300. As the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, is grounded over to the right side. Oh, a diving stock by the first baseman, Gunji. He's going to get up and he's going to take it himself to the bag. And that is going to do it as the Buffaloes are going to be retired here in their half of the fifth inning. That was a web gem if there ever was one. If you get a chance and you're on Instagram tonight, be sure to check out that one. Great defensive play by Gunji to retire the Buffaloes. No runs in the inning, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the fifth inning. Your score is the Fighters 0 and the Buffaloes 0. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being in here with us. We'll be right back after this with all the action. Bottom of the fifth coming up in just a few. We got a 0-0 scoreline as we move to the bottom of the fifth. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action after this. Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Phil Cantalon in the house tonight. Glad you could make it in with us, as it is going to be coming to bat here. The 9, 1, and 2 hitters in the order: Mizuno, Asama, and Gunji. As Mizuno here 0 for 1 tonight, he flew out to left field, his only trip up, as he bats from the left side against the right-hander, who delivers a breaking ball that comes down and is hit Mizuno in the foot, and he is going to get himself first base. And is, I guess, if you're going to get hit by a pitch, that's one you want to get hit by. As he makes his way down to first base, I thought it was a breaking ball. It was actually a changeup that had come down and hit him right in the top of the right foot. And so he is aboard with a leadoff hit by pitch, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Daiki Asama. As Asama is coming to the stick, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He's got a single and a walk. He's reached base twice. He's raised his season average up to 219. And one would have to think that this might be an opportunity for a bunt situation. As the right-hander holds himself to the set position, he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right center field. Moving back on it is the center fielder, Mugatani, and he's going to make the catch, and he's going to fire it back in. Oh, Asama sent that one for a ride right to the deepest part of the ballpark, but not deep enough. He's gone for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the first baseman in Yuya Gunji. My friend Gracie Lynn says, say this every time, but she really likes the background stream. One of the things that I always like to try to do is I like to try to incorporate the pink, the cherry blossom pink, in the background, and it seemed to blend well with this. So I'm glad you do like it. I don't know if I like the one that we're using for our I guess for our thumbnails on the games, we're going to have to work on that a bit. As they throw over to first base and diving back in time is the runner Mizuno. Yuya Gunji 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to short his first time up and walked his second time, or walked his first time up. So officially 0 for 1 as the right-hander Kawase works himself to the belt. And here comes the offering. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now 1 ball and no strikes. As we mentioned before, we're not going to do anything tomorrow, but then we will do a game on Friday night North American time and Saturday as well. Those are the games that would be Saturday and Sunday in Japan. So if you're in the neighborhood and you want to pop in and listen, be happy to have you on board. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as there's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. The count goes even to 1-1. 4 other games go on later in the NPB. It'll be the Eagles are playing the Marines at the Tokyo Dome. The PayPay Dome, it is going to be the Hawks hosting the Lions. Over in the Central League, the Bay Stars are playing host to the Tigers. The Giants are playing in the Mazda Stadium against the Carp. Again, they throw over to first base, and again, diving back in time is the runner Mizuno. As we were saying, we were looking ahead in terms of the games for the weekend, a little undecided. I always kind of like to try to get a game that Trevor Bauer would do, but certainly tomorrow I would anticipate that he probably will get the start tomorrow. As again, they throw over to first, and again, diving back is Mizuno. Not exactly sure. They are supposed to play the Swallows tomorrow at the Jingu Stadium. Saturday, rain in the area all over Japan. So more than likely, if we had to make a projection, depending on the starting pitchers, could be the game between the Buffaloes and the Lions, and again another throw over, and again diving back in time is Mizuno. Or it could be the Eagles and the Hawks. Those are the games that are probably we have circled. Stay with the Pacific League for the weekend. And then next week we will be back into some other things. There's a fastball swung on, grounded over to third. Haruka goes to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. That is going to be a fielder's choice. It'll be 5-4, racing Mizuno at second for the second out. Gunji safe on the trail side. That's going to leave it all up to Kitaro Kiyomiya to come to bat here with a runner at first and 2 gone. So that is going to bring to the stick Kitaro Kiyomiya, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Dylan says, who is the errant judge of the NPB? As there's a breaking ball that misses, and the count is 1-0. Our friend Harrison says he's tapping out. Well, we'll probably see on the weekend, Harrison. Maybe when it is your birthday celebration. I would say Murakami, the third baseman for the Swallows, maybe in that conversation in terms of his home run prowess. But he has been a little bit soft the last couple of years. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count's 1-1. Dill says, I think it's a bullpen game. The rookie started. Yeah, I would have to say that the starting pitcher is definitely a bullpen game at this point for the Buffaloes. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-2. But maybe not so much for the Fighters. They did get 5 innings out of their Steider Hasano. I'd be curious to see if he comes back out for the 6th inning. He's really not that deep in pitches. If I remember correctly, he's around 70 pitches. So I guess it all depends on what the manager decides to do. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. Kiyomiya is retired for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here, as that is going to be it in the 5th inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. We're through 5 complete. For those of you who haven't been around us here, it is at the end of the 5th inning. It is typically like they like to call a Japanese halftime. I'll come back and chat with the chat. Our friend Connor says, who would you pick for the games later? I'll take a look and I'll come back with that. But we are going to take a little time out here. It is 0-0 as we move to the top of the 6th inning. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. It's about a 5-minute break if you haven't been with us before. Yes, it is usually about that length of time for them to get their drink break, the umpires to get refreshed, and them to work on the field. So hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you for listening in. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 6th inning. We're still a couple moments away as it is the Japanese halftime, as we like to call it. It is 0-0 Buffaloes and Fighters when we return. Welcome back, everybody. I appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight. It looks like the rookie starter, Hasano, is coming back out to start his 6th inning of work. Go back into the chat, and I'll answer some of your questions, or try to. Connor, I'm going to answer yours as we talk through the game here about the picks for later on, who they would be. Swizzy says, you think they go over 4 runs? Well, I got to be honest with you. The first 2 games of this series here has been a pretty light scoring. It's been when the latter part of the game has taken place that the runs have erupted. We mentioned 6 of the 7 runs on the Tuesday game. The Fighters scored after the 7th inning. Last night, the Buffaloes scored, I believe it was 6 of their runs from the 8th inning onward. So that does not bode well for the bullpens. So as of this point right now, both the starting pitcher and then the reliever for the Buffaloes have done their job, as has the starter here for the Fighters. So that's the first one. Dill the Thrill says, how well are you into the MLB? Pretty much for sure. We do that a lot. Gracie Lynn says, I appreciate good pitching of the NPB, but sometimes the lack of offense is frustrating. Yeah, that is for sure. That is definitely that as well. The stop between the 5th and the 6th inning. What's interesting is both in Chiba and where the Swallows play, they do fireworks in between the 5th and the 6th innings. As here comes the first pitch from Hasano. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Only 72 pitches for the left-hander through 5 innings. It's Kotaro Kobayashi to lead it off here. He is 2 for 2 tonight against the left-hander. Both of them were singles. He was raced in a double play his last time up. And there's a fastball swung on, and his hot day continues. That's going to be a base hit into left center field as Kobayashi's got himself his 3rd hit. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter in Yataro Sugimoto. Dill says he's got a Japanese cultural question. He says the 7th inning started because a group of people copied the president. They count on since. Yeah, that is for sure. There's some interesting things when you get to Japanese games. Like when a foul ball goes into the stands, they blow a whistle at some of the stadiums to alert the fans that a ball is coming into their section. So it's like a whistle that goes off. And then they'll make an announcement on the screen after the ball is hit, telling you in Japanese, heads up. Probably after somebody's been drilled. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away by Sugimoto, and the count is 0-1. So that's kind of interesting, depending upon where you sit. The other thing that is also interesting is when you buy a ticket for the game in Japan, if your seat, people sometimes will move around. A lot of people, if that's your seat, they go sit in exactly the seat that they bought. There's no moving around much. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul into the seats behind home plate, and the count is 0-2 strikes to Sugimoto. Dylan says, do a lot of people sleep on the ground? No bed frame. That's a great question. That part I can't answer because whenever I've been in Japan, I always sleep in a bed. So that's never an issue for me. I mean, they have the capsule hotels where you can sleep in the tubes. It's pretty amazing. There's a fastball swung on and missed, and Sugimoto is gone on strikes. He's out for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. Gracie Lynn said a really short firework display. If they do it every game, it can be expensive. Yeah, it goes on for about maybe 90 seconds. As I said, they've done it in Chiba, and they've done it in with the Swallows. And those are the only places where I have seen it. Obviously, in the Dome in Saitama or Kurosawa, where the Saitama Cebu Lions play, they don't do it. They don't do it at the Tokyo Dome. So 0-1 strike to Oda here. Oda 1 for 2 tonight. He's got a single and 2 trips. John Clip says, let's go. Tony Aguiar says, where can I watch the game? This is the 3rd person that's come in here to ask. You can pick it up on J Sports, Japan Sports. You better have a VPN and a credit card ready to go. And if you have neither, it's the best I can do for you. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the left-hander Hasano holds to the set. He checks the runner, now delivers. Breaking ball swung on and chopped foul down the third baseline, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Oda. So 0-2 strikes. Tony says, I guess I'm stuck with you. Well, it could be worse places to be stuck in. We're glad you guys can make it in here tonight. 0-2 strikes. As the lefty ready to go again as he holds to the set. Now he kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into right field. Moving back on the warning track is Manami, and he's going to make the catch right up against the wall. And having to return back to first is the runner, Kobayashi. A great throw there by Manami trying to double him off. But Otis sent it right to the deepest part of right field, slamming into the fence with the catch. Manami for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. Our friend from the Philippines says, do you think do the Lions have new players because you noticed how well they're playing? Seiya Watanabe, the rookie left fielder for them, has been outstanding this year. He's been a huge injection into their offense. And Tyler Nevin has played very well for them as well. So those two in particular. Plus, they have their pitching's always been pretty good. There's a first pitch fastball that misses up and away to Tongu. Tongu tonight is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and grounded to third in his 2 trips to the plate. He's seen his average dip to 271 on the season. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here comes the pitch from Hasano as he delivers a fastball. It's taken for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Kobayashi, the runner at first, even though he's the shortstop, he doesn't run particularly well. No stolen bases this year. Green Beans ask if Nevin is any relation. The answer to that is yes, it's his son. Breaking ball that misses down. The appeal over to the first base umpire, but they say that Tongu didn't go. It's going to go 2 balls and 1 strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is here to Tongu. Again, the lefty Hasano gets himself a new baseball. I would have to think this probably is going to be the last inning here for the lefty. I know that the Japanese don't have any worries about taking pitchers to 100-plus pitches. But I wonder how they'll handle the rookie here as there's a fastball that misses upstairs. The count goes to 3-1. This is my first look at Hasano, only his 3rd appearance of the year. I have to say, pretty impressed when you're sitting on 95 from the left side. That makes it a tough day for your opposition. Here comes the 3-1 pitch, but instead he throws over to first, and diving back in time is the runner Kobayashi. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Gracie Lynn says, I don't think she'll be booking any capsule hotel soon. I think that's probably a wise decision, and I'll probably do the same. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 4 as Tongu gets himself a walk. That's going to bring the pitching coach out of the Fighters dugout. It's going to put runners at first and second with 2 gone, and it's going to bring Kai Nakagawa to the plate. We'll have to wait and see what the pitching coach has to say as they have a full-on conference at the Hill. That's one of the things I do get a kick out of in Japan. Our friend Dylan was asking about some cultural questions. The pitching coach comes out to the mound. He's got a bottle of water and a towel for the pitcher. That's the one thing that's a little different. Can you imagine some of the pitching coaches in Major League Baseball coming out with a towel and a bottle of water for some of the players? Next thing you know, they're going to be wanting a back massage. Well, it brings Nakagawa to the plate. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has popped to first and popped out to the catcher. So he's got a chance here to drive the Buffaloes' first run in. Kobayashi, the runner at second. Tongu, the runner at first. 2 gone here. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Good night for baseball in the Japanese League. Glad you guys could pop in with us tonight. Our friend Connor had asked the question earlier on of who we think is going to win some of the later games, and we'll give you our predictions, assuming these games do get played. As the 0-1 pitch is on the way, it's a slow breaking ball that just misses. The count's 1-1. The Bay Stars are hosting the Tigers later on. It's going to be Andre Jackson for the Bay Stars against John Duplantier for the former Diamondback pitcher for the Tigers. I would lean toward the Bay Stars in that one. It is Dominguez for the Carp against Yamazaki of the Giants. It's at the Mazda Stadium in Hiroshima. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And if it were me, I'd be leaning toward Yori Yamazaki in that one. Both teams are playing decent ball right now. But I do like Yamazaki, even though that game is on the road. Game at the Tokyo Dome between the Eagles and the Marines. Marines have not played good baseball this year. Brian Sammons, the American former Detroit Tiger, goes for the Marines. Takahisha Hayakawa, the ace of the, or arguably the ace of the Eagles staff. I'd probably lean Eagles in that one. Even though it's a neutral site game for both of those teams, Chiba's the closest. Eagles are considered the home team. There's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over the head of the third base coach. It's 1-2 still to Nakagawa. And then it is at the PayPay Dome. It is Jin Maeda against Kona Takahashi. Kona Takahashi's just been snake bitten over the last couple of years. I would probably lean to the Hawks in that one. The Hawks have played good ball. Lions are playing 500 ball, but I think I would probably be leaning toward the Hawks in that one tonight. They have got off the schneid a little bit, and they are slowly inching their way back up the Pacific League ladder. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted down the left field line, and it is going to be hooked foul. That's going to keep the count at 1-2. So 1-2 strikes. So 1-2 strikes it is to Nakagawa. Our friend Jixiro says, do you always live stream? Yeah, we've done. This is about, we're approaching the 50th game of the year. As the lefty is ready to deliver, our friend Dylan says, do you think people in Japan know who Mike Trout is? Absolutely. As there is a breaking ball in the dirt, the home plate umpire says that Nakagawa has gone around. Shinto had blocked it. He picked it up and put the tag on the batter. And Nakagawa is going to be gone for the third out of the inning. That's going to do it. Well, they threaten, but they don't score to the Buffaloes. No runs in the inning. There was a hit, no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we move to the bottom of the 6th inning, it is the Buffaloes no score and the Fighters no score. We'll be back in just a couple of moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us tonight on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change. It is going to be Taisuke Yamaoka coming into the ball game, the right-hander, who was he was a part of a scandal before the season started, as he had been accused of gambling online, which he was the only player that has done it. If you're not familiar in Japan, any type of online gambling is illegal in the country. There was no connection to him using baseball or betting on baseball, but it was suggested he was playing some sort of casino games or different things, and he did admit to it. He was turned over to authorities, but he has been cleared to play, as he's been found of no wrongdoing of betting on any baseball games. But Yamaoka was the center of attention for pretty much all the wrong reasons, but he is taking over here Yes, he will be the third pitcher used by the Buffaloes tonight. He has had starts in his career. He has had some injuries as of late. As I said, put him on the sideline, but Yamaoka ready to get going here as he's going to face Franmil Reyes. It's his fourth appearance of the year for the right-hander. He delivers a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Yamaoka has worked 2 1/3 innings. He's allowed 4 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 1. As there is a pitch that just misses down, and the count goes even at 1-1 to Reyes. Franmil Reyes tonight is 1 for 2 at the plate. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded foul, but just past the third base coach's box, and the count goes to 1-2. Our friend Jim, or Jamis ATTV says, you think the Buffs, when they won yesterday? It is the getaway game, and it's kind of hard here to gauge. I would say that they're not in a good position. I think the Fighters are probably in a better spot here to win as that breaking ball misses down. It's 2-2 to Reyes. Going into this one here tonight, before the game started, I probably would have been leaning towards the Fighters in this one. The ground ball up the middle, fielded nicely by Kirby Ashe behind the bag at second. Throws to first, and Reyes is going to be retired. It's a ground out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up the left fielder in Kengo Yoshida. And Chixiro says he got the gambling bug. Yeah, well, there was a number of players and staff, but Yamaoka was the only one that was named. It was really weird. There was approximately, I guess, another 20 to 30 people that had raised their hand. There's the breaking ball swung on and fouled away. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. For Sup in the house, Alex Lee here as well. Everyone got Orix. I don't know. I think as I said, I think going into this one here, I would have been favoring the Fighters in this one here, being that they are the home team. There's a fastball that swung on and fouled away. Count is now 0-2 to Kengo Yoshida. Yoshida is grounded out and bounced into a fielder's choice in his 2 trips to the plate tonight. Alex says, got the Ham Fighters despite the loss yesterday. He says, more into the KBO than Japanese League. There's a fastball that's check swing, grounded over to first, fielded by Tongu. He flips it to the pitcher covering. That's going to go in the books as a ground out 3-1 for the second out of the inning. It's going to leave it all up to Chusei Manami. Felix says no scoring still. Yep, we're still locked at zeros. Yeah, Japanese player getting caught, that's for sure. And a bunch of others that were unnamed. I don't understand why they wouldn't. If you're going to name Yamaoka, why not name the rest? But our friend Jenny says, wants to know the score. The score is running at the ticker at the bottom of your screen. That is currently updated as we go. Usually update at the end of the half innings, but there's no change. Here comes the first pitch to Manami. Breaking ball drops in for a called strike. The count is quickly 0-1. Manami tonight has reached base twice. He has singled and walked in his 2 trips. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Yamaoka. As Yamaoka kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is pop foul behind home plate. The count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Everybody keeps saying the under was promising. Was it 4.5 the under tonight on this one? Or was it 5.5? I didn't look at the lines earlier on. I know a few people had mentioned it in the stream. There comes the 0-2 pitch as the right-hander Yamaoka kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that's spiked into the dirt. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Chusei Minami has been flexing his muscles as of late. He's looking for his 10th home run. I'm a little surprised sometimes just the way that Shinjo puts the batting order together. I would have figured they would have stuck Minami right in behind Reyes. Piggyback the 2 power hitters right in a row. Here's the 1-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch, swung on and missed. And that is going to do it here for Minami. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that's going to do it here for the 6th inning for the Fighters. So 2/3 of the game's in the book, and we've got no score, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the top of the 7th inning. Your score is the Fighters nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. We'll be back in just a couple of moments. We're going to introduce you to our friend Steve Rademacher. He'll keep you entertained as well here tonight. We'll be right back after this.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name, and I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
You are listening to live NPB commentary with Last Raps Baseball. Be sure to check out our podcast, The Japan Baseball Report, either on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Be sure to join our Facebook group as well. It is NPB Japan Baseball Report. Stay up to date with all the other followers who are a fan of the Japanese game.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here for the Buffaloes in their half of the 7th inning. I do expect that we are going to see a pitching change here, and we are for sure. We're just getting confirmation of it here as the Fighters are going to their bullpen, and they are bringing on a right-hander. But I have to get you caught up onto that to see exactly who that will be. As he is completing his tune-up tosses, it looks like it is going to be number 19. Is that going to be Tawai? That's exactly who it is. It's Taisho Tamai coming into the ball game, the right-hander here, as he's making his 4th appearance of the campaign. He's got himself an ERA of 0. So the right-hander here just completing his tune-up tosses. And we are about ready to get this one back resumed. One of the folks in the chat says they prefer the KBO. KBO can be interesting at times. There are changes also too defensively. I'll have to get those caught up for you as we move along. As it looks like they have a new center fielder, new left fielder. It looks like it could be the left fielder is the old center fielder. It looks like Asama has moved over to left. Didn't catch the number of the center fielder, but looks like the night is going to be over for Yoshida. So Kenya Wakatsuki to face the right-hander, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 0-1. Wakatsuki is 0 for 1 tonight. He has popped to the catcher and walked in his 2 trips. Some folks said they are looking at obviously looking for the Buffalo. Seems like a Buffalo crowd here tonight. Breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Appreciate you guys for jumping in here with us today. As there's a fastball swung on, it is a lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats over on the first base side. The count now goes to 1-2 on Wakatsuki. Top of the 7th inning, Buffaloes and Fighters still locked at 0s. 1 ball and 2 strikes here to the catcher Wakatsuki. 8, 9, and 1 hitters to come to bat here to face the right-hander Tamai here in the 7th inning as the pitch is on the way. The way this game is going, we might be playing a full 12 innings as that breaking ball misses down and away. And I wouldn't bat an eye against that. That seems to be the way it works. Our friend Jixiro says, liked and subbed. We appreciate you for hanging in here. As the 2-2 pitch is on the way, there is a fastball that is swung on, is grounded over to third, fielded neatly by Kiyomiya. He throws to first And that is going to retire Wakatsuki on a ground out 5-3. So one up and one away. That'll bring up the center fielder and Yusuke Mugatani. Alex Lee says Japanese baseball is a coin flip unless you do a load of research, and that's never 100%. Yeah, there is probably the KBO, if you're going on things like Moneyline, would probably be easier because there really is a discrepancy between the top teams and the bottom teams. The NPB, there's really only a couple of bottom feeders, 2 or 3 teams. Fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the first base side. The count is 0-1. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight. So no balls and 1 strike to Mugatani. As we said, we'll be back on Friday and Saturday North America time. There's a fastball that misses outside. Count is 1-1. We do squeeze some Major League Baseball games in the daytime, so if you're at work, got nothing else to do, come in and jump in, but probably won't get to anything until next week. I was hoping to do that Tomoyuki Sagano game tomorrow with the Baltimore Orioles, but I'm not going to be able to get that in. There's a fastball swung on. It's going to be looped into left center field. It's going to get down for a hit, and that is going to be a hit here for Mugatani, his first of the evening. He's got himself a single, and that's going to bring up the top of the order in Taishi Haruka. Tony Aguiar says, are the pitchers that good or the hitters just suck? I would say it's probably a little bit of the pitching is ahead of the hitting. And I think the pitching in the NPB has gotten better over the last number of years as well, not because of the lack of home runs, just when you think of some of the power arms that they're developing. Never used to be that way. There's a ball that's thrown over to first base, and diving back in time is the runner, Mugatani. You got to keep an eye here because Mugatani can run a little bit. He's got 6 stolen bases on the year. Buffaloes are looking to try to get him into scoring position and then a couple of cracks to bring him home. Here comes the pitch. And that's a fastball that misses inside, backs Haruka off the plate. The count is 1-0. Haruka is 1 for 3. He's got a single and 3 trips. Our friend Ain't Stoppin' says, who's batting? Well, we'll make it simple for you. The home team is the team that bats last. Visiting team is the team that hits first. We are in the top of the 7th inning. So the Buffaloes are the visitors. So that would put them up to bat as they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is Mugatani. Alex Lee says he's got the Twins and the Kia Tigers. I'm going to be in Taiwan at the end of August. I'm going to try to get myself to about 3 or 4 games in the Chinese League. Curious to see what that's all about. As they throw over to first base, and again diving back in time is the runner. Oh, they're concerned about him. He's itching to want to run. I also would be interested here to see with a positive count to Haruka if they're going to put a hit and run on here. Tony says the Japanese hitters always go for contact. The Japanese hitters are excellent contact hitters. As the pitch is on its way, there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The throw down to second as the runner is on his way, and it's not going to be in time. The throw from the catcher, Shinto, was up and to the right field side of second base. Nice play there by the shortstop covering to have to bring it down. Or check that, it was the second baseman, Ishii, who had to haul it down. So the 7th stolen base of the year for Mugatani. And that is going to put the count at 2-0 to Haruka. So the Buffaloes now showing signs of a threat here. Chixiro says, do we have an X? Yep, we do. And Instagram, but we're not really into that stuff. We don't really do a whole lot on either of those fronts. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball that misses outside, and the count now goes to 3-0. Probably not the worst thing here if you walked Haruka to set up a potential double play. Alex says that he's Korean himself and he knows a little something something. There you go. The Koreans do play good fundamental baseball, just as the Japanese do. It's fun to watch. So here comes the 2-1 pitch as the right-hander holds set. He checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on, chopped back to the pitcher. The only play is going to be to first. That was like a swinging bunt. Haruka is going to be retired. That's going to go into the books as a ground out, 1-3. He's out for the second out. Advancing to third is Mugatani. That's going to bring up the left fielder in Ryoma Nishikawa. And it's also going to bring the manager Shinjo out of the dugout, as it looks like we may have ourselves a pitching change, and that's exactly what is going to happen. So we're going to take a little time out here, everybody. We have a pitching change as the Fighters are going to the bullpen. We're going to get that change for you in a moment. They're going to be calling on a left-hander. We're going to give you our friend Steve Rademacher to keep you entertained, as he is going to tell you what it is all about for a pitching change. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back in just a few. If I can get Steve queued up, I'll have him entertain you as much as he possibly can. We'll be right back in just a bit.
Oh, hello. Oh, hey. Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game, really exciting, lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But, Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
We've got a pitching change here. We'll bring that to you when we come back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Rouse Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. The lefty is going to be Naoki Miyanishi. He is coming in. The soon-to-be 30-year-old is going to be making his 11th appearance. I say 30-year-old. Check that. The soon-to-be 40-year-old, the veteran left-hander, is going to be making his 11th appearance of the year. He has worked 7 1/3 innings. He's allowed 6 hits. He's walked a couple, struck out 4, and he's pitched to a 2.45 ERA. So he is going to be entrusted to face the left-handed hitting left fielder of the Buffaloes in Ryoma Nishikawa. Nishikawa coming to bat here. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He has struck out looking, flown to left, and grounded to first, as the left-hander has completed his tune-up tosses. So both teams now have used 3 pitchers in this one, as Miyanishi is looking to come in to try to solve this here. We've got top of the 7th inning. Nothing is the scoreline, but the Buffaloes are threatening. They've got a runner at third base. This is only the second time in this game that they've had a runner to third. It's with 2 outs. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball that gets poured in for a called strike. And the count is quickly no balls and 1 strike to Nishikawa. We were talking earlier about how Nishikawa had really struggled in spring training. There was talk at the time about Buffaloes starting him down on the farm, but he was able to make the club, and of course a veteran player that they got a lot of money in. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-1. He entered the fray tonight hitting .313. His average has dipped a bit. He's now at .306 with a homer and 10 RBIs. The longtime Hiroshima Carp outfielder in his second season with the Buffaloes. So the left-hander working himself to the belt. And here comes the 1-1 pitch as he kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball missing down and away. Count now goes to 2-1 to Nishikawa. So 2 balls and 1 strike. After this series wraps up, which is obviously this is the final game of the series, both of these clubs tomorrow will be on their way as they will be on their way to a couple of different destinations. We were talking a little bit earlier on about just the play as a whole. There is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. It's now 2-2. The Buffaloes will head down to Tokyo and they'll play a 3-game set against the Lions at the Balluna Dome. The Fighters also making their way down to Tokyo as they're going to take on the Chibalote Marines for 3 at the Azosa Marine Stadium. Those games there, it looks like tomorrow we'll get in, but the games that are in question are Saturday. A lot of rain in the forecast all over Japan. Sunday, a mix of cloud and rain. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Ishii. Throws to first, and Miyanishi is going to get out of the jam as he is able to induce Nishikawa to ground out 4-3 to end the inning. Well, we're going to be going to the bottom of the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. Your score as we move to the last of the 7th. We are where we started, and you gotta love it. Miyanishi comes off the field. That's his 800th appearance, and he gets a bouquet of flowers handed to him by the manager. Isn't that sweet? I don't know if I'd ever want a manager handing me a bouquet of flowers or roses or anything it might be, but that is tradition in Japan. He gets a bouquet of flowers from his manager. Gotta love it. We'll be right back after this. Appreciate you guys for being with us. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the bottom third of the batting order is slated to come to bat here for the Fighters. It'll be Ishii, Shinto, and Mizuno. We are just going to get a word to see if if it is going to be the reliever Taisuke Yamaoka is going to stay in the game, or if they are going to go to their bullpen. We mentioned that Yamaoka had been a starter at one point in time in his career for the Buffaloes. He had a bit of a litany of injuries and some shoulder issues, and the next thing you know, he ended up in the bullpen. Really hasn't been used the same way that he was when he was a starter. So we'll have to get a look here to see if it is going to be a change. We'll just get a confirmation of that, or if they're going to stay with him here for another inning of work. He did have a pretty easy inning. It is going to be still Yamaoka. As the right-hander delivers, there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Kazushi. Only 12 pitches in the first inning of work here for Yamaoka. As the diminutive right-hander holds himself to the set. Now the pitch is on the way. There's another breaking ball that misses in. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but they say he didn't go. The count is 1 ball and 1 strike. When I say diminutive, I mean he is small in many different ways as the pitch is on the way. Fastball swung on, grounded. His ball's got eyes. It gets through the 4-hole into right field. And Ishii has got himself his first hit of the night. He's got a leadoff single here to start the 7th. That's going to bring up the catcher in Yuya Shinto. And I would bet dollars to donuts that we are going to see a bunt here in this situation. You got to think that that is going to be the case, as the Fighters are going to try to play for a run here. As it brings Shinto to the plate. So we have ourselves Ishii with his hit. He keeps his hot play alive. As we said, he's been absolutely on fire. 13 for 20 now, and including this game plus his last 5. And squaring to bunt here is the batter Shinto, and they throw over to first base, and diving back in time safely is the runner. Just a note, as Kengo Yoshida had left the ball game, it is Ryo Isobata who is in center field. He will bat in the place of Yoshida, and it was the center fielder Asama had moved over to left. As there is a breaking ball that is bunted at and missed. Shinto waved at that one. It's quickly 0-1 to him. So trying to get the job done here to move that runner into scoring position. Now the third base coach has asked for time, and he's come in to whisper instructions into the ear of his catcher. So no balls and 1 strike. Shinto 0 for 5 to begin his NPB career. He entered the fray at 0 for 3. He is in his rookie season for the Fighters, getting an opportunity. Again, he is squaring to bunt, so the whole park knows he's going to lay it down. As they throw over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Ishii. They are concerned about him. Ishii on the season does not have a stolen base, but they do want to keep him close to the bag here. So here comes the 0-1 offering as Yamaoka holds set. And again, they throw over to first base, and again diving back to the bag safely as the runner Ishii. If anything, it also really takes a lot. Like, that's the one thing in Major League Baseball a lot of people may not appreciate. They've gone to the 2 pickoff rule, where in Japanese baseball, that still doesn't exist. You could throw over a bunch of times. It takes the sting out of the runner, like the legs. It just to have to dive back, get up, do it again, dive back, do it again. The legs become heavy. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1 on Shinto. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So the base runners are just, their legs just really, really, really get heavy. It makes it really, really hard for them to have to be able to get up and have to run. So they do want to take a shot to keep that runner off of second base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Yamaoka holds set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball that's bunted foul. Now the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. This game here, the way it's going, we may not see a run till tomorrow. Who knows? It's been an entertaining game for a 0-0 game. It's not like they haven't had anybody on the base paths. Not like they haven't had any opportunities to score. You think all the way back to the first inning, the rookie pitcher for the Buffaloes walked the first 2 Fighter batters, and then they couldn't cash in. Bring in the big part of the batting order with Kiyomiya, Reyes, and Yoshida, and they did nothing. The Buffaloes had their chances as well to cash runs in. Both teams have been pretty much impotent when it came to banging home runs. I'm not talking home runs into the stands. I'm talking about knocking runs in from the base paths. As again, they throw over to first base, and again, diving back is Ishii. So Ishii, the runner at first, nobody gone here in the 7th inning. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Shinto. He's still squaring the bunt here with 2 strikes on him. They're trying to get that runner over into scoring position. As Yamaoka delivers, it's a ball that's bunted, and it's going to be fielded by Wakatsuki. The only play is going to be to first, and he gets the job done, does Shinto. That's going to go as a sacrifice. It's going to go 2-4 on the putout. Advancing to second is Ishii. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Katsuki Mizuno. Well, for Mizuno, he's officially 0 for 1 tonight. He had flown to left, and he was hit by a pitch his last time up. So the good job, a round of applause That is how you execute a bunt in that situation. I got to say, in watching enough Major League games over the last recent few years, the bunt is a lost art. Everybody wants to see the long ball. So Mizuno stepping into the plate, batting .240 now on the season. He's got 2 homers and 13 runs driven in. As the right-hander now kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that just misses under the hands for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Mizuno. That'll be the top of the order in Daiki Asama, who waits his turn on deck. If they could get Mizuno here, you're in a territory where you almost got to think about putting somebody on to set up a potential for a force. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Fighters and Buffaloes locked in a 0-0 deadlock. Again, the right-hander ready to go. He gets the sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki, as he holds himself to the belt. Pitch on the way. Split finger pitch misses down. Nice block there. They appeal over to the third base umpire, but no, they said he didn't go around, and I agree with that. That's begging for the call, but you got to work it somehow. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Mizuno. We'll try tomorrow to put up our schedule for the weekend. More than likely the 10 p.m. Pacific games, 1 a.m. Eastern, as we mentioned. Try to sometimes take a look at who we project the pitching matchups to be. I still, in some ways, would like to be able to call the Bauer game, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think that'll fall tomorrow. There's a breaking ball that misses inside. Mizuno saying he's got hit again. He's asking, he's going to see, I wonder if they're going to go and take a look at this. And the manager, Shinjo, has come up out of the dugout. They're going to want to go to replay on this to see if he was hit by the pitch. That would be the second time tonight. He would have been hit in the foot. So we're going to get a look at the replay. We'll get an opportunity to see what the umpires may have missed. So we'll get a look at this one on the replay. Pitch came down. Sometimes it's very difficult for the umpires to be able to see this. Well, I think he's got a case. I think he's going to get the hit by pitch here because it looked like it hit the back foot and it had changed direction when it hit him. It might have hit him on the top of the foot. Just the way that he reacted, you could see it was not a very good trigger. He tried to hold up his swing. I think this is going to be an easy call for the umpires. They're going to flip this one. We're not going to be wasting on this very long, I would think. And if that's the case, then we're going to have runners at first and second, but we'll wait here. The umpires come back out and make the call, but certainly the Fighters here in this situation have an opportunity to have a couple of runners aboard with only 1 out. We're keeping track on this. Our friend Bleggett Kwan says, how are you all watching? Well, if you aren't watching and you're just listening, and that's what this is all about, the watching. You've got J-Sport, if you're in Japan, and that's your ticket right then and there. Somebody had said earlier about DAZN. DAZN used to carry, a couple of years ago, used to carry the NPB. I don't know if they do. I know in Japan they do. I don't think in North America it is anymore. And there it is. There's your call. Just as we projected, it is a hit by pitch. So the initial call has been overturned. Mizuno is going to get first base. It's going to keep the runner Ishii at second. And that is going to bring up the top of the order and Daiki Asama with 2 aboard and 1 gone. And Asama has been productive tonight. He has been aboard twice. He's walked and singled. He's also flown to center, so officially 1 for 2. So they had a conference on the mound here, and that conference is now over. So Asama coming to bat here, 1 for 2 tonight, as we mentioned. Walked in the first to begin the ball game, singled in the third, flew out to center in the 5th inning. So officially 1 for 2 tonight. So a turning point potentially in the ball game here as the Fighters, with runners at first and second and only one gone. Our friend Swizzy says he's watching the BetMGM screen with just a little field play. There you go. So here comes the first pitch from Yamaoka. It is a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0 to Osama. They are double play depth up the middle are the Buffaloes defense as they are looking to try to turn themselves a pair here. Left-handed hitting Osama, waggling the bat, waiting here on the offering from Yamaoka. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, there's a fastball that misses down, and that's going to run the count to 2-0. Looming on deck is the first baseman, Yuya Gunji. The Fighters have got firepower, and they got firepower that can come off the bench as well. Players on the bench, you've got a variety of different players, including Fushimi, Osakawa, Imagawa. You got all kinds. There's a fastball that misses outside. That's going to be ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes to Osama. Buffaloes here in jeopardy. Remember, we talked about earlier that all the fireworks in this series in the first 2 games came after the 7th inning. Last night, the Buffaloes sticking 6 on the board from the 8th inning on. Game 1 of the series, the Fighters shoved 6 on the board from the 7th inning on. So here it looks like a repeat. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner. Count goes to 3-1. Who is going to be the first team to blink? So 3 balls and 1 strike to Osama. Aaron Martinez says, witness or hear a grand slam. Let's see what happens. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. There is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and now the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. That's what you get for betting on Japanese baseball. There you go. Lots of entertainment and lots of ulcers. I always take the under, at least in the first 5. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Osama as he waits here. Crowd is really into this one now. Here comes the pitch from the right-hander Yamaoka as he checks the runner. 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball misses inside. It's going to be ball 4. Oh, that pitch didn't miss by much. He wanted that. Wakatsuki not very happy as he has. Very rarely you see that the players will turn and talk to the umpire, but boy, he let the home plate umpire know what he thought of that one. So that's going to be ball 4. Osama is aboard. It's loading the bases. Ishii is the runner at third now. Mizuno the runner at second. It's going to bring Yuya Gunji to the plate. Gunji here tonight, 0 for 2 and a walk. So the Fighters looking to try to cash a run in here. Queen Bean says 3 on and 1 out. You got it. Well, that brings Gunji to the plate. As we said, he's grounded to short and he's bounced into a fielder's choice. He also drew a walk in the first inning. He's batting 190 on the season with a couple of homers and 5 RBIs. Ironically, the infield is all in. I'm a little surprised they wouldn't play the middle more in double play or at least halfway. But everybody is just at the edge of the proverbial grass here. As the right-handed hitting Gunji waits, and it's a split-finger pitch and misses down and away, and the count is quickly 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. This game here, the Fighters and the Buffaloes locked at zeros here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Joe Mama says he's going to walk him. No, I don't think so. I bet he drills him with a fastball right in the hip. It's probably more the realistic piece to this. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, or maybe in the foot. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is grounded through the 6-hole into left field. That's going to get a run in and maybe two. Rounding third and heading home. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it's cut off. And the Fighters have cashed a pair of runs in on an RBI or 2 RBI single off the bat of Yuya Gunji, as both Ishii and Mizuno come around to score, and the Fighters have taken themselves a 2-0 lead here in the 7th inning. Asama's going to stop at second. Gunji with the big stick here, 2 RBI single. And 2-0, the Fighters are now in the lead. So there you have it. The first runs of the ball game here come in the bottom of the 7th inning. We were talking about this earlier. That's when all the excitement seems to happen. So the crowd is into it here. Maybe not our crowd. It seems like there were a lot of people that were fist pumping for the Buffaloes. He's going to bring Kentaro Kiyomiya to the plate. Kiyomiya 0 for 3 tonight. He's flown to right. He's grounded to second, and he has struck out in his 3 trips. As the pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, the count is 1-0. I don't know, but I have to say, a couple of batters ago, it looked like that Yamaoka was done for the night. They've left him in here. You might want to stick a fork in him because I think he's finished. 32 pitches now for the right-hander. As he kicks and delivers, there's a breaking ball swung on. This is lifted foul into the seats over on the third base side. The count now goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Aaron says, how are you ahead? Well, one of the problems is Aaron, is that sometimes the game feed is about 15 seconds behind, and then with a delay of StreamYards, and you got another piece, you had another 7 seconds. Fastball swung on it, fouled away. When I was at the Chiba game last year against the Lions, I was in Chiba, and I was watching the game on my phone, and there was a good solid 15 seconds between the feed on your phone and the game live in front of you. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 2-2. And then on top of it, we use a third-party streamer here, so that's another 7-second delay. It could be 22 seconds between what I'm telling you and what's actually going on at the field of the game. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swizzy says he's ahead because he watches the app. There's a fastball swung on it. It's popped up on the left side. It's playable. It's in fair territory. The infield fly rule is now in effect. And Kobayashi is going to make the catch. That is going to retire Kiyomiya. He's going to be gone for the 2nd out of the inning. So 2 gone, and it's going to leave it all up to the designated hitter in Franmil Reyes. Swizzy says the live stream is always a bit behind. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Not much we could do about that. I'd argue and say the best app that's out there, but you have to be in Japan to have it. I don't think you can download it in North America, is Sports Navi. Sports Navi is pretty good for the Japanese league, but you have to make sure that you're translating it because it's a lot in kanji. But it is a pretty good, reliable app. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Reyes. Reyes 1 for 3 tonight, has a single in 3 trips. He's also flown to right and grounded to short. Batting from the right side here against the right-hander Yamaoka. Again, the right-hander checks the runner at second. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 0-2 on Reyes. I think Reyes might have wanted that pitch back because it looked like he had grander pieces there. As he steps out of the batter's box, resets himself, and we're ready to go again. As the right-hander again delivers, there is a breaking ball swung on and missed. Reyes is in the books. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning, and that is going to do it here. As there was A couple of runs in the inning. The Fighters get on the board in the bottom half of the 7th. They had 2 runs in the inning on the benefit of 2 hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Your score, as we're now through 7 complete, it is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes no score. Stay with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be right back after this. Well, we got some scoring here in this one. It is a 2-0 scoreline. We are glad you guys could be here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after this from our friend Matt.
Well, you got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Welcome back, everybody. We are moving ourselves to the top of the 8th inning, and we appreciate you guys for listening in here with us tonight. Gracie Lynn says she's dozing off. Well, that's when all the fireworks start happening, when Gracie Lynn leaves usually, so stick around. That tells you that there's going to be runs galore about ready to follow. That is always seemingly the case, but we appreciate you and listening in. We also appreciate Felix and your kind words. Thank you for being here with us tonight as well, as we are expecting that there could be another pitching change here, as we are just waiting confirmation here if the Fighters again are going to their pen, and it looks like it is indeed going to be the case, as they have a right-hander that is going to be coming in. It's Takahita Akita. He's going to be making his 15th appearance of the season. Right-hander coming in with a 0-1 record. He has worked 13 2/3 innings, allowed 12 hits. He has walked 2, struck out 10, and he's got himself an ERA of 1.98. There's a new catcher behind the plate. I didn't get a chance to catch the number. I don't know if it's Yua Tamiya or not. We'll have to check on that here in just a few, but the rookie catcher is done. So here's the first pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle for a base hit. Off the bat of Kentaro Kobayashi. That's his 4th hit of the ball game. He's got himself a leadoff single. Now, the Buffaloes have 8 hits tonight, and he has 4 to his name. And stay hot, Kentaro Kobayashi. That is going to bring up the designated hitter and Yataro Sugimoto. So just like that, it brings the tying run to the plate. So the Buffalo fans who are here and listening in this one here, you got some big boppers coming up here in just a couple of moments. BVP says 62 listeners. Good to see. We were just up around 80 earlier before, as that fastball misses up and the count is 1-0 to Sugimoto. Aaron says, can you explain these teams in MLB terms? I'm not sure who I'd put the comparables on these ones to. There's a fastball swung on, is grounded over to third. They go to second for 1, and that's all they're going to get. It was double clutched on by Kiyomiya. And I think he double clutched because the second baseman, Ishii, was a little bit slow to get to the bag. I wonder if they're going to take a look at this, as he threw to the bag and then they had to hang on. I don't know if Ishii was able to stay engaged with the base. We're going to get a look at this on the replay itself. They are going to go up and have a look. So we'll tell you what we think here. If that's the case, it's going to be an unfortunate error for the third baseman, because the ball was absolutely rocketed off the bat of Sugimoto. He had fielded it, and then he had the double clutch because the second baseman was not there in time. And then the throw took him to the right field side of second base. We're getting a look at the replay here ourselves. Oh boy, that is going to be a close call. This one might get overturned as well. And if it does, the Buffaloes will have runners at both first and second. He did catch the ball, did Ishii. We're going to get a look over here. But his foot may have left the base. If that's the case, the Buffaloes will have 2 on and nobody out. It'd be an error, unfortunately, charged to the third baseman. Should go to the second baseman. Nope, they're going to call him out. So it is going to be a fielder's choice. So safe at first is Sugimoto. It's going to be a 5-4 fielder's choice. Kirbayashi is erased for the first out of the inning, and that is going to bring up the second baseman in Ryo Oda. So Oda, who is also swinging a hot bat this season, he's 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's also bounced into a fielder's choice and flown out to right field. So now Ikeda ready to go again. Here's the pitch. That's a cutter that catches the outside corner. Boy, I don't think Oda was necessarily liking that call. Oda's average is stuck at 342. He's got himself 4 homers and 19 runs driven in. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tony says they can't get a double. They only hit singles. Yeah, it's station-to-station baseball is what it seems like. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-hander ready to go as Ikeda comes to the set. There's a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner at first is Sugimoto. There's 1 gone here in the 8th. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Oda. So the right-hander works and now delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's laced foul into the seats down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Hearn was asking who these 2 clubs would remind you of. Certainly over the last couple of years, I got to tip my hat to the manager, Shinjo. He's done a great job with a young ball club. The Fighters are shaping themselves into a powerhouse. Got a lot of weapons here. That was the Hokkaido Ball Club. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And that is going to do it for Oda. He's gone in the books for the second out of the inning. Ikeda reared back and delivered a power fastball right by him. So 2 gone here. That's going to bring up the first baseman in Yuma Tongu. Well, for Tongu, he is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He has grounded out twice and walked. As he steps into the box here. So Tongu touching both sides of the plate. Had a pretty good crowd tonight listening in on our channel. We appreciate you guys for stopping in. As the first pitch on the way is a fastball that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Tongu. Tongu has some juice in the bat. He's got 6 homers on the year with 15 runs batted in. This would be a very timely spot here for him to deposit one into the seats if you are a fan of the Buffaloes. If you are a fan of the over, you probably would want him to be able to do this as well. But if you've got the under in this one, probably not the spot that you want. He is now wearing the captain's C on his jersey is Tongu, and the pitch is a breaking ball swung on, is grounded softly to third. Kiyomiya bobbles it, throws to first, and he's going to get him in time. Oh, Kiyomiya having all kinds of trouble here in the inning. And that is going to do it. A ground out 5-3 to end the inning here. And that is going to do it for the Buffaloes. No runs in the inning. There was a hit. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner stranded aboard. Your score now as we move to the bottom of the 8th inning. It is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be back after this.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Isobata, Manami, and Ishii slated to come to bat here in the 8th inning for the Fighters. Just waiting for our confirmation of the pitching change for the Buffaloes, as one would have to think that Taisuke Yamaoka's night would be over. It was probably over in the middle of that last inning. We'll wait and see here before we get something. We'll look ahead to the top of the 9th inning. As slated to come to bat would be the bottom third of the batting order for the Buffaloes, Nakagawa, Wakatsuki, and Mugatani. I would have to think that we may see a pinch hitter or two possibly coming to bat with some pop, but they got to get somebody on base to be able to do that. Great start tonight by the rookie, Haruki Hisano, who went 6 innings for the Fighters in this one, making only his 3rd appearance in the NPB, and he goes 6 shutout innings. He's in line for a no decision, unfortunately for him. So that is the way it is. It looks like it is Miyanishi who would be in line for the win at this point. We do have the change for the Buffaloes. It's going to be Nobuyushi Yamada who is coming in. Yamada making his 14th appearance of the year. He's got himself a 3.09 ERA. Be the 4th pitcher used by the Buffaloes tonight in this one. So Nobuyushi Yamada here on in relief. So the left-hander is slated to face Isobata. As we said, Manami and Ishii would be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters in the order. The first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on. This ball's hammered into right field for a base hit. So welcome to the ball game, Yamada, as he's been greeted with a single off the bat of Isobata. That's Isobata's first hit of the night. So he's got himself a single, and that'll bring up the right fielder in Chusei Manami. Well, for Manami, he's officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's also drawn a walk. I forget who had said earlier. It might have been Tony Aguiar said it was a singles night. That's exactly what it was. Singles night only. Not too many doubles, triples, home runs. And probably in the stands, it's a singles night as well. Everybody probably walked there and drove their own cars and everything else. It's one of those nights. It's just infectious. So Manami stepping in here, ready to face the left-hander. As Yamada gets his sign from his catcher, Wakatsuki. Ricardo says the Fighters are hitting. That is correct. Here's the pitch. Fastball that misses inside under the hands, and the count is quickly 1-0 to Manami. There's very few players that are in the NPB that you could say that they're in scoring position when they step in the batter's box, and Manami is certainly one of them. He can turn pitches around in a big-time hurry. I wonder when he's going to... I think he's going to have a 30 home run season in him in the NPB, and maybe a couple. He's really just starting to enter into his prime as the right-handed hitting right fielder of the Fighters waits, and there is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up foul. Giving chase is Tongu, but he's going to watch it drift into the seats on the first base side. The count goes to 1-1. Joe Mama said, how's this pitcher? Well, Yamada has been a bit of a workhorse. He's been decent this year so far. I've never been a huge fan of Yamada's, to be quite blunt. So I guess we'll have to just wait and see how this plays out. Certainly the first pitch that he was greeted with off the bat of Isobata set the tone here. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. As the pitch is a breaking ball that just misses down, and the count goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. When this one's over, we'll give you the full roundup and the full recap of this one. All the other games go off in a couple hours' time. Only 2 games in the Central. There's 2 other games in the Pacific tonight. This is the only early action in the NPB. Jerry says that the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters have this one in the bag. As the lefty holds the set, now delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled straight back, and the count now goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. IZ93 says, or Izzy93 says, anything else to bet under 2.5? Boy, I don't think I'd want to risk that one in this game here. Not at this point. Probably at the outset. I think, what was it, 4.5 or 5.5 we said was the over-under on this one tonight, which is a bit surprising, especially the way the first 2 games of the series went and a couple of rookie pitchers. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball that just misses down. That's going to run the count full to 3-2. Yeah, Ricardo says he was able to catch the under 5.5. Under 5.5. I mean, if I had to say so at this point, I think that's kind of safe now. But boy, oh boy, even the 4.5 might not necessarily hold up. I just have a feeling there might be another run clawed across here somewhere to tick people off. So here comes the 3-2 pitch as the right-handed hitting Manami waits. Yamada checks the runner at first. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball misses down. We got ball 4, and there's going to be a whole host of trouble coming up here as the Fighters have got the first 2 batters aboard here in the inning with nobody out. That's going to bring Kazunori Ishii to the plate. This is not the guy you want coming to the plate if you are the Buffaloes. And it looks like we're going to have a conference on the mound. We talked about Ishii, as Ishii had entered the ballgame tonight hitting .386. He's 1 for 3 tonight in this one, as he has singled and scored the first run of the game. His average has dropped to .383. He does have a homer and 7 RBIs. Well, the conference, that was a quick conference. So you got the hottest fighter hitter at the plate. And I think, if I remember correctly, if you include tonight, he's 13 for 20, including tonight, in his last 6 games. So today and the previous 5. Hitting at a 650 clip. Swizzy says, seems like home runs are rare. The home runs are down big time in the NPB. I haven't looked lately, but there has been some teams. I don't even know if every team's at double digits in home runs yet. There was a while there were still teams under 10. I have to go back and double check. Here's the pitch. It's a bunt, and he gets it down. It's a good one. It's going to be fielded by Wakatsuki, and he drops the ball. And now we got the bases loaded. The Fighters have loaded the bases here. I'm going to have to wait to see how they're going to score it, if that's going to be an error on Wakatsuki. Oh, boy, the Fighters here got a chance to really blow this thing apart. So anybody who has taken the under here at 2.5, well, you're probably going to be cooked. I don't know if they're going to rule this as a hit or as an error, but the bunt was down. It was a good one up the first baseline. Wakatsuki went to pick it up, and he forgot to pick up the ball. And even Jack says 5.5 isn't exactly safe now either, is it? Yes. 100%. And we talked about it earlier in the ball game. We said about the last 2 nights how the scoring just went crazy after the 7th inning. Well, here we go again. Fighters have the bases juiced with nobody out. And we have ourselves Tori Fushimi coming to bat. Fushimi had come into the game to replace Shinto. As Shinto had dropped his sacrifice bunt in the last half inning. So Fushimi with the bases loaded here, looking to skewer his former team. Fushimi was a one-time Buffalo who had come to the Fighters a couple of years ago. So Aaron says, where are you from? We are from Canada. That is where we are at. So bases loose, bases juiced, Fushimi at the plate. And here comes the first offering from Yamada. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded through the 6-hole in left field. That's going to get a run in. And that is just going to be station to station for everybody, as that is going to be a base hit single here off the bat of Fushimi. That's going to make the scoreline 3-0 as Isobata comes in to score the third run of the game. Advancing to third is Manami. Advancing over to second is Ishii. So Tori Fushimi sticking it to him with an RBI single. That is going to bring up the shortstop in Tatsuki Mizuno. Aaron said once Gracie left, all heck was going to break loose. Yeah, you just knew it was coming. You guys just needed to get Gracie out of here earlier if you had the over. So that is going to bring to the plate Mizuno, who is 0 for 1 tonight, and he's been hit twice by pitches, each in a different foot. So Yamada at the plate here. Bases juiced, nobody out. Here comes the pitch. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Jack wants to know if we caught the hockey games tonight. I heard the Oilers won. I saw the Leafs lost, but I didn't catch any hockey. I just caught the headlines. Not really a huge hockey guy. I'll get to the Cup final when it's on, but it's not really my shtick. I don't like the way the game's played these days. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count goes to 0-2. They do have action in the Fighters bullpen. They have a pair of right-handers up and throwing. Aaron says, send me your locks for tomorrow. I always wait to see what the pitching matchups look like. They don't usually announce them till the games are on. So I don't expect to see the pitching matchups till probably about 5 a.m. Eastern or 2 a.m. Pacific. So here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses down. Count goes to 1-2 on Mizuno. They've got a chance for more here. Do the Fighters. So 1 ball and 2 strikes here to Mizuno, the top of the order. Asama waiting his turn on deck. Here comes the 1-2. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep right field, and it's going to get over the head of the right fielder, Nakagawa. It goes all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Here comes the throw, and it's going to clear the bases with a bases-clearing double. So if you took the under in this one, oh boy, I hope your televisions, I hope your computer screens are still intact, as that's going to bring in a pair of runs, actually. Sorry, it is going to stop the runner at third base. It's going to be runners at second and third. So if you got the 4.5, or you had the under 4.5, you're going to be ticked off. As Ishii has come around to score, Fushimi, the catcher, is going to stop at third. A 2-run double off the bat of Mizuno. 5-0 lead here for the Fighters. As both Manami and Ishii come in to score, there's still nobody out. Runners at second and third, and the pitcher Yamada is done for the night. Stephen Langdon said he threw 600 on over 2.5. Well, we're glad you guys found this stream, and we're glad you guys are in here. We got ourselves a pitching change, so hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Yamada's night is done, and hopefully he's walking right to the farm team, because that was a performance that, oh boy, was as ugly as it could be. We'll be right back in just a couple moments, everybody. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. If you like beer, here is our friend Steve once again, as he's got a relief pitcher for you.
Hey, where are you going? It's a pitching change. Come on, sit back down. You don't go out there. Don't go get no food or anything. You've got a big decision. Are you gonna throw in there Raleigh Fingers? Maybe Goose Gossage? How about maybe Mariano Rivera or Lee Smith, Dennis Eckersley? Who knows? It's a pitching change. Come on back. You know who I would pick for this? A nice tall cool one. There's my pitcher. That's my pitching change. That's a winning combination. Come see my channel. You know, every day is opening day. And according to Bob, I must be in the front row. Blah.
Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the top of the order in Daiki Asama coming to bat here, as he's going to be facing Keisuke Honda, who is going to be coming in with runners at second and third and nobody out. As they've already sent 5 batters to the plate here, have the Fighters in the inning. For Asama, he is officially 1 for 2 tonight. He's also drawn 2 walks, so he's reached base 3 out of 4 times, as he is batting here from the left side. Ready against to face the right-hander Honda here, as Honda works himself to the set position. And the first pitch on the way is a fastball that misses low, and the count is 1-0. Our friend, it looks like our Korean name of Kim, comes in, says nobody out. That is correct. Garen says it's 5-0. Yeah, we usually update the ticker at the end of the half innings. It is 5-0 now. Got other things in the way here, as we're trying to keep ourselves on the clock. There's a fastball that misses down. The count's now 2-0, but Garen will keep us updated, as I know when he comes into the stream, he always does. It's good to have you here with us as well. So we got runners at second and third, nobody out, 2 balls and no strikes to Asama. They do have the open base here, as Yuya Gunji waits his turn on deck. Fighters have punched 3 across here in the last half of the 8th to give them a 5-0 lead. All the scoring after the 7th. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. It is Buffaloes and Fighters in Hokkaido here for this one, as the left-handed hitting Asama waits on the offering. Stephen Langdon says the over 6.5 starting to look pretty good. Yeah. As there's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 3-1. Yeah, a couple of base hit here could cash 2. I have to go and look, but I think that double by Mizuno is the first extra base hit by either team tonight. I can't think of any other one tonight. One of the other listeners, might have been Tony who was in here earlier, was talking about they just didn't have any other stuff. And here comes the 3-1 offering, as the right-hander holds to the set. Now the pitch is a fastball swung on and popped up over on the third base side. It looks like it's playable. Haruka's underneath it. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to retire Sama for the first out of the inning. So one gone here. It's going to bring up the first baseman in Yuya Gunji. Karen says, happy to have somebody doing the game in English. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for popping in to listen as well. It's been a fun crowd tonight. Big crowd tonight. Didn't start that way. Started like I was going to be talking to myself for a while, but everybody seemed to drift in a little bit late, and it just kept coming in. Somebody must have said that we were offering free beer or something like that, but that's not tonight. It's usually on ladies' night earlier in the week. Here comes the offering here from the right-hander who delivers a fastball that's taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Gunji. Gunji's been aboard 3 times tonight. He's had a single. He's bounced into a fielder's choice and walked. He also drove the first 2 runs of the game in here for the Fighters as the right-handed hitting Gunji waits. As the right-hander kicks and fires, there's a fastball swung on. It is grounded up the middle. That's going to get at least 1 run in. Rounding third and coming home as well is going to be the runner Mizuno, and that is going to be a 7-0 lead as they have shoved a 5 spot on the board. Another 2-run single out the bat of Gunji. And that is going to bring up the third baseman in Kataro Kiyomiya. So the Buffalo bullpen has just gone sideways here. 5 runs in the inning, and all 5 of those runs have been charged to Yamada. So that's going to fluff up your ERA. 7-0 is now the score. Eric in here as well. We appreciate you for being here too, Eric, and Aaron, and everybody else. So here comes the first offering to Kiyomiya. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away. The count is 1-0. Our friend Glenn in here says, yeah, truly, definitely degenerate gamblers. There you go. Now I guess the next question is can the Fighters get a 10 spot on the board here? Nothing game going to the 7th inning, and then everything just goes sideways. There's a fastball swung on. This is grounded through the 4-hole into right field. This is going to be a base hit. It's stopping at second is going to be Gunji. A base hit here by Kiyomiya. That's going to bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. And as I said, you got a chance for a 10 spot. Yeah, somebody get Gracie up. Let her know. It's time to stop the bleeding. That brings the Franimal to the plate. So Reyes coming to bat here with runners at first and second. 1 gone in the inning. I wonder if we're going to see some serious hacks here from Reyes. He turns one around here. It becomes a 10 spot on the board. Unbelievable. So here comes the first pitch from Honda. Just give him a cookie right down the middle. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0 to Reyes. On the flip side, Reyes is a double play candidate. 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Fighters. No runs, 8 hits, 1 error for the Buffaloes. That is where we stand in this one. And it was an error by the catcher, Wakatsuki, there when he couldn't pick up the bunt. There's a fastball that swung on and missed. It looked like Reyes wanted to hit that ball all the way into the Pacific Ocean. As he swung through that one and missed. 1 ball and 1 strike to Reyes. Yeah, Steven again, going back to the over again. Yeah, and don't forget, probably the Buffaloes will cash a couple of runs to break the shutout. Here comes the 1-1 breaking ball. Waved that and missed, and the count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Absolutely crazy game, this one here tonight. Tale of two games. And I remember, if you go back and replay the game, or at least go back and listen, I said it early on. I said, you watch, this game probably goes nuts after the 7th inning. And of course, that was when Gracie tapped out. And sure enough, it's gone bananas after the 7th. A pitcher's duel through 6. That's why you play 9. Here's a fastball swung on, hammered foul by Reyes. 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. I always used to say that's why softball plays 7 and baseball plays 9. The starters can get you 7 in a baseball game, 6 or 7. Have you got a good starter, but it's the bullpen that's going to win you the game in the 8th or the 9th inning. And if you don't have a good bullpen, you're probably not a very good team. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, at least in today's baseball. And the 1-2 on the way. Fastball misses down and away. It's now 2-2 to Reyes. Harn says he's going to tie with FanDuel on his phone. He's already accepted it. Well, it's time to put the wagers down on when you think Pete Rose is going to go to the Hall. With that announcement, obviously, that is been announced today that with Shoeless Joe eligible, there's a breaking ball waved at and missed, and Reyes is going to be in the books. He's going to be gone for the second out of the inning. Well, that's going to bring up the one who started it, Ryo Isobata, coming to the plate. He is 1 for 1 tonight. He has a single and scored a run. That was to begin the inning, as he's the 10th hitter to come to bat here for the Fighters in inning number 8. So he strides to the plate. That is one thing I will say. I'm not a big fan of the commissioner, Rob Manfred, in baseball. But there is one thing I do have to tip my hat to, and that is that they are now officially keeping people interested with the gambling portion, where a lot of people might have left the building already. Now are you going to get the over, the under? What are you going to do? There's a pitch that misses down. That's 1 ball and no strike to Isobata. 7-0, Jerry. We don't update the ticker till after the half inning. It's been a 5-spot shoved on the board so far for the Fighters. 7 runs in the last 2 innings. This game has gone absolutely sideways. Fastball misses outside. It's now 2-0 to Isobata. The reliever, Yamada, came in with his gasoline can, soaked the mound, lit it on fire, and he's given up all 5 of the runs in the inning have been charged to him. Currently, the runners that are on base are the responsibility of Honda. So here comes the 2-0 pitch, as the right-hander holds to the set. Now delivers. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Isobata. That's hard, unfortunately, when you have that situation. Our friend Gracie Lynn, as we said when she left, that's when all the craziness began. She's done that a couple times in the last little bit. She pops into the game and then she goes away, and the next thing you know is it's runs galore. There's a fastball at the knees taken for a strike, and the count is 2-2. I'm sure she'll listen to the rest of this on the replay, pick it up at some point in the morning. She'll probably be laughing the whole time. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So for you guys, 2 things are going to happen in the top of the 9th inning. We're going to either witness the greatest comeback in Buffalo history, or the Fighters are going to put the icing on the cake. Ground ball hit to second, fielded by Oda. He throws to first. Isobata's gone on a ground out 4-3. That is going to do it. Finally, the 3rd out of the inning, they send 10 batters to the plate to the Fighters. They score 5 runs in the inning on the benefit of 5 hits. There was an error, and there were 2 runners left aboard. We're now moving to the top of the 9th inning. Your score is the Fighters 7, the Buffaloes no score. We'll be back in just a few to try to close this one out for you. Appreciate you guys for being here. Be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the ninth inning. The Fighters have a 7-0 lead over the Buffaloes. And the question is, come up in the chat, can you get one run, please? Well, you might have the pitcher on the mound to do that. It is going to be Takumi Yamamoto, the former pitcher for the Dragons, who is sporting a 6.35 ERA, the 5'7" right-hander. Yeah, you heard it right. 5'7" right-hander coming on in relief. So he has come in some important situations for the Fighters. This is not one of them. As they have a 7-run lead, he has not been as effective as he has in the last year or so. So hopefully he can get himself sorted out. If you are a fan of the Fighters, if you are not, then you're hoping that he is going to light the fires here for the Buffalo comeback. It is going to be Nakagawa, Wakatsuki, and Mugatani here. And the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1 to Nakagawa. Nakagawa 0 for 3 today to get his first hit. He's popped out twice, and he has struck out. Fastball swung on, and the bat has been broken. The ball's been grounded foul. He's left with a sliver in his hand. That has got to be one of the stranger broken bats I've seen, as the bat was broken off, not just at the handle, but all the way to the top of the bat. So breaking the bats here, no balls and 2 strikes here to Nakagawa. The fragments all the way over into the 6 hole. They got the bat boy out to try to help pick him up. So a lot of fragments on the ground there in the 6 hole area as he's going to run that off the field. The way Kitaro Kiyomiya has played third base tonight, you want to get all the fragments potentially off of the floor. He's not been very good over there tonight by his standards. There's a fastball that swung on and missed, and that is going to do it. Ricardo says 5'7". Yeah, exactly. Nakagawa gone for the first out of the inning, so 1 gone here. Steven says, I see why they call it scam duel. Oof. Well, one of the books slated to bring Kenya Wakatsuki to the plate, but at what point I think the Buffaloes are going to be starting to empty the benches here. We'll keep an eye here. It looks like it's Jordan Diaz at the plate as the Colombian takes a first pitch breaking ball over for a called strike. 24-year-old Diaz, former Oakland A, hitting .264, no homers and a couple of RBIs. There's a pitch that is swung on and missed, and that count now goes to 0-2. So Diaz in the hole quickly at 0-2. He's a big fella. Is this Diaz? First year in the NPB. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count goes to 1-2. Dylan Blanchard says, a chance for the Buffaloes to get at least a run. Well, yeah, with Diaz at the plate, he's at least in scoring position. He hasn't hit a home run yet. And there he waves at a fastball, so forget that. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to leave it up to the center fielder, Mugatani, but we'll wait to see here if the Buffaloes are going to be sending somebody else to the plate in a pinch-hitting type of role. So 2 pretty quick strikeouts here by Yamamoto. They list him at 5'7", but I wonder if Altuve is taller than him. I know Altuve is 5'5". So we have a first pitch delivered here to Mugatani. It's a fastball swung on and fouled away. Count is quickly 0-1. Mugatani 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's raised his season average up to 283. Looking to try to find his way on and turn it over to the top of the order. There's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count now goes even at 1-1. So we've got ourselves 1 ball and 1 strike count here to Mugatani. There's a fastball swung on, and that's fouled away, and the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Yamamoto has come in, and he's been a strike-throwing machine. 10 pitches, 8 of them strikes here so far. Pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and he has struck out the side. And that is going to do it here in the 9th inning as the Buffaloes go quietly No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left the board. I'm going to come back and I'm going to wrap this one up for you. I'm going to give it a rundown and the tragic numbers on some cases. Your final score is the Fighters 7, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Great to have you with us here. We didn't even do our Take Me Out to the Ball game tonight. I got so into the other stuff, but we're glad you're with us. We'll be right back.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Once again, everybody, we appreciate everybody who came into the stream tonight. Whether you listen live or on delay, it is great to have you in the stream. And hopefully, guys will come back on the weekend. It'll be Friday night and Saturday for more Japanese games. We'll put the schedule up tomorrow, so be sure to check it out. Well, if it's a tale of 2/3 of a ball game and another third at the end, it was a 0-0 ball game through 6 innings. In the bottom of the 7th inning, the Fighters got on the board. Kazuishi led off with a single. He was sacked to second by the catcher Shinto. And after Tatsuki Mizuno was hit by a pitch, a walk to Daiki Asama loaded the bases. Up stepped Yuya Gunji, and he delivered a 2-run single to give the Fighters a 2-0 lead. On the bottom of the 8th inning, the Fighters put it out of reach, as it was a leadoff single by Ryo Isabata. Followed a walk then to Chusei Manami, and after the catcher Wakatsuki made an error on a sacrifice bunt that loaded the bases, up stepped Tori Fushimi, who was pinch hitting for Yuya Shinto, and he had a base hit single to increase the scoreline to 3-0. And then up stepped Tatsuki Mizuno, and he drilled the ball over the right fielder Kai Nakagawa's head to bring home 2 more runs to make it 5-0. After a Daiki Asama pop out to third, it was Yuya Gunji stepping up to the plate, and he delivered another 2-run single as he had driven in 4 of the 7 runs tonight. And that gave the scoreline 7-0. And again, your final score is the Fighters 7 and the Buffaloes no score. Our friend Louis came in at the end of the day. Hey, we appreciate all that. Hopefully you'll be able to listen to catch up. So Louis, it is great to have you there with us as well, checking in at the end of the night. Once again, everybody, your final score, 7-0 for the Fighters. All the action came late in the ball game. We're glad you guys could make it in. Hopefully you guys will pop in later on the weekend. We'll be calling a couple more games here for you as well. Have a great night, everybody. We will see you guys again tomorrow. It is, again, the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Be sure, don't forget to bookmark us and check us out. We'll be back in again. Have a great night, everybody.